Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Ricada of Ricada Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And with me today is the human sunbeam, the Sultan of Pie, Ethan Van Sciver.
What a privilege. What an honor. What a pleasure to be with you again, Nick Ricada, counselor, sir.
How's it going, man?
Good, man. It's just been a pretty hectic summer, but a lot of fun, too. We're just kicking some ass out there. We just launched John Malin's Godlike on Indiegogo, raised over $100,000 in the first 24 hours. So we're a little cocky right now.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, it's an okay opening. It's an okay entrance to get six figures within 24 hours. I think
it's a good day's work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost as much as a women's soccer player makes in one game.
Yes. That's why us guys are trying to get in on that.
Yes, exactly. I'm
rights.
actually strongly considering slapping on a pair and putting on a woman's jersey and going and competing. I think
you would be within your rights. I would support you in that. I really would. That'd be fantastic.
Oh my gosh. But see, there's like, not to get too, what's in vogue today, but there's some strange issues going on in that community, in the transgender community today.
I've heard a few things.
Yeah. Those two things you've heard are Chris and Chan, I assume.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard she. We want to make sure the pronouns are correct here. We want to respect this transgender person's pronouns. They're not crazy.
Can have Chris Chan.
Yeah, we want to make sure that this person is not crazy. She is fucking her mom. That's what I heard. Is that correct?
That seems to be the case.
Did you listen to the tape recordings where she is describing, only a woman knows how to manipulate another woman's. This is the thing. I mean, we try to as men, we try to learn, but we can never understand the inner workings of a woman's, pleasure centers the way another woman can, who was comatose, 80 years old. We leave it to another woman to understand that. Respect.
Yeah. Yes. It's an important thing to know biblically another woman, I guess. Very awkward, maybe unbiblical. I don't even know anymore.
It is very biblical. And here's what I would like to say. Cain and Abel fucked their moms. So at the very, very beginning of time, right? I mean, where did their seeds find purchase, if not Eve?
Yeah, that was a weird. That's an interesting conundrum with Genesis 1 and 2 in particular, because they talk about other tribes, and it's like, well, but where'd those come from? So. I guess maybe that's where Cain went when it meant that he would walk the earth forever. He'd just become a woman and complain the entire time. I think that's likely what happened.
Do you think he was simping for his mom when he killed his brother?
It's like, technically
it's Sunday. It's church time right now. It's
right.
church.
They were simping for God, and one of them had, like grain, and the other one had birds or something. And God's like, oh, I love these birds, but Cain, your grain is garbage. And so then, yeah, it was the first simp war.
Interesting. So it's all biblical. It all goes back.
Yes. It's okay. Well, now that we're visually going to hell after this stream, we are not here to talk about this.
No.
We are here to talk about toys. We are here to talk about trademarks. We are here to talk about comics. We're here to talk about lawsuits. Because you're involved in like 12 lawsuits right now.
Yeah.
You've got illustrious company You've joined a rogues gallery of Titanic hitters in the comic book verse, the Vicky verse, and DA Talks, of course, being accompanying you.
Big fans of yours, from what I
Yeah.
understand, vice versa.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm being sued right now. I'm being sued by Preston Poulter. So that is interesting. Well, we can't talk about that too much, but part of the lawsuit, part of, in fact, let's not talk about it at all. We'll wait. There's going to be a time and a place. But part of the lawsuit does revolve around the ownership of the Comicsgate trademark. Something that I didn't give a something that I care about passionately. I'm really concerned about it. It is something that, I feel that I have ownership over, and it is my job to protect it. It's my job to protect the trademark of Comicsgate from falling into the hands of people who wish to do harm by it. So that is I have to make sure that I'm protecting Comicsgate.
Well, and you have years of history. I don't know if people remember this, but you have years of history actually not just talking about Comicsgate, promoting Comicsgate, having it on your live streams as a Comicsgate, promoting comics under this, what's called a service mark of Comicsgate, but you actually have defended it before. You didn't have to go to court, I don't believe. However, legal procedures were taken, or legal measures were taken to defend Comicsgate in the past. And I think people may have forgotten that has happened.
That was scary as hell. I had to bluff Fox Day. Out of backing down, threatened him with a lawsuit for the very same situation. And I was so glad that he just went, you know what? Fuck you. Which is what he did. I was going to have to go on the, Kill stream and debate Vox Day. And I was just, I was ready to go. I was ready to do it about Comicsgate. But he did back down, and thank goodness. All of the Comicsgaters who were around at the time were just like, we don't want him to have the trademark and ownership over the word Comicsgate. So we've been here before.
And the amazing thing is the issues are very, very similar, although I would say that now they're even stronger because they're well established. I mean, that was at the rowdy beginning of Comicsgate. This is early on in the process. You didn't have 3 years of successful crowdfunding under your belt, just about probably 6 to 8 months, maybe, where it really had started been promoted. And so it was a little sketchier back then, but the issues are very similar now, although they're more formalized. So we're gonna be talking about that as we get into it. I have a copy of the motion to dismiss the trademark issue that Preston has filed, and so we might take a couple peeks at that.
Well, I would love to hear your thoughts on it all, obviously, because I don't know. I'm a normie. I don't have a legal education, so I'd be interested in what you have to say.
Well, I'm not a trademark attorney, but I get the basic issues behind it, and I've talked about it in a couple different contexts with different cases. So we should be able to muddle through it tonight. And you also have a series of toys that I've been wanting to talk to you about, and now I find out it's coming up to the end of the end of its window, right? The Indiegogo. And so I wanted to make sure we talk about that because they look like pretty cool toys.
People are saying in the chat, they're saying you're very well groomed tonight. And I agree. I'm kind of taken aback. Now, ordinarily, well, maybe I tune in later in the night after you've had
like 12 drinks deep. Hey, this is great. This is a good lawsuit. You should buy it.
But I mean, you look like you're court ready. You're you look good. You look.
Well, like I finally was able to get in and get a haircut yesterday. And so that helped because I was looking like a homeless.
How long has it been? Because I just got my first real haircut again out at the barber shop like a few weeks ago, and it was so weird and uncomfortable.
Yeah, my barber's my buddy. So that part was fine. Although I'm pretty convinced by now that he's a member of the cartel. one of the cartels. But that's a different story for a different day. But so that part was fine, getting the cut. But man, it was just like, everything was locked down. And then I kind of got used to not going in and getting haircuts very often. So then I was just letting it go. And I was looking at myself. I'm like, God, pretty soon I'm going to look like, like John McAfee. Or whatever, running from the FBI, and then I'll be dead in prison. This will be terrible. So I had to go get a cut. Oh no, he froze. I thought he was listening intently, and he froze. Okay, we'll wait. We'll wait and see what happens. Look at him. Here, I'm going to have a staring contest with Ethan. I already lost. Oh my goodness. So, God, this is so weird being this close. But, okay. Well, we'll take a moment here. We'll take a moment. We'll grab some of the early chats that have come in, and then we'll hopefully get Ethan back in just a minute. If he's not able to come back, we'll make it through anyway. But hopefully he'll be able to rejoin. I'll keep an eye on it. I'm just waiting for. Let me get this set up. Oh my gosh. Okay, so to address something that a lot of people are talking about right now, yes, Chris Chan has allegedly been arrested. That was caught on candid camera by Ethan Ralph. Ethan Ralph of the Kill Stream had the video. He invited by screaming across a parking lot Chris Chan onto the kill stream when he quote unquote gets out. The question of when he'll get out is certainly open. Because he has to make bail, or meet whatever release conditions they set without bail. And since Chris doesn't really have any money that we know of right now, that could be difficult. So I will be covering it. Once we get an arraignment, we'll know what charges they brought, and we'll be able to look more deeply into it. Don't look too deep, or else you'll be in the same boat Chris was. And then, so that's one of the big things we'll be covering tomorrow night. Nerdrotic Gary will be on the show. We'll be discussing liberty. Gary is someone uniquely able to talk about liberty, as he is someone who's lost it for a period of time. And I think it'll be a really good show, especially with so many people today wanting to give up liberty. But let me hit these early chats, and then we'll, I saw Ethan say he should be back pretty soon. Okay, we've got Eric Allen says, before you even got on, boom, love your stuff. Jump on Timcast ASAP. Tim has been on my show. He's never invited me on his. So I don't know. It's, I feel like maybe that's racism. Guns Down in Hail says the dimensional merge is real. Prepare yourself. Shakaval says, so God is that and likes hot meat. Oh, here we go. Welcome back.
Yeah, I had to relaunch my whatchamacallit. Yeah, happens sometimes in the summer. Sorry about that. And I missed all the good stuff about Chris Chan and Ethan Ralph. Ethan Ralph was the one who captured that arrest.
Yeah. He was going to try and get an interview, I think, with Chris Chan. He gets there and the cops are hauling him off in cuffs. So Ethan's over there making a complete ass of himself, which is what you do, right? And he's like, kill stream.
Where's the video of this? I want to see it.
We can watch it.
Yeah.
It's up. Let me find this. But yeah, so apparently Apparently Chris has been charged with incest. So that's the charge allegedly, but I can't wait to see a nice whatchamacallit, a charging document. That'll be helpful.
So is incest itself a crime?
In Virginia it is.
Okay. I mean, because beyond incest, you know, I don't think she was able to give consent. So I think it was, more importantly, it was rape.
Yeah, and that is the that's a question that they'll have to kind of suss out as they get more info. I mean, they could always add subsequent charges. But for now, all I know of is the incest. So here, let me share this. I've got the video. I'm going to do it this way. Share screen. All right. So here we go.
They're arresting her.
Even Ralph respects Chris Chan's pronouns.
I noticed that. I was going to say. This is like a motel, or is it an apartment?
It's a motel. Here's Chris Chan.
Chris Chan, what's up? Kill stream, baby. When you get out, let's do the kill stream. Look me up.
Yeah, that's what he's thinking of right now.
Tell them all about Josh Moon. That's who they want. Look up Ethan Ralph, kill stream. I live here in Richmond, buddy. Go to church. No,
Go to church.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
What kind of shit is that? Holy shit.
I can't believe he was there just in time to get this.
Yeah, who was the old lady that was by him?
Oh shit. Oh. You better hurry, Jesse. You're missing out.
Rare footage of Ralph running, something no one's ever seen in their entire life.
Oh, we're going around the back. Holy shit.
I heard the word Sonichu.
Hey, officer. How's it going?
The cops are laughing.
I told you.
Is the car alive? I am good. Is the car alive?
You are.
I think so.
Really are.
Yeah, you appear to be compliant.
Your goddess blue heart, and I continue to stand strong, and I maintain everything with quick fill in my side shoes and road shoes and everybody.
Yeah, you're live to about 3,000 people right now, Christian. Well, don't. You're taking everything in stride. You said you're doing good?
Yeah, I keep it good faith. Everything is going to work out.
Doing good, feeling good?
Well,
How's the last few days been? I know it's been pretty stressful.
Sorry, Ethan Ralph is out here doing
Interviewing.
journalism. He's out here yelling an interview.
How have the last few days been? Oh, Jesus. Up until now, I guess they were, you know.
Hey, look, you got to give props to Ralph when he does it, man. He's doing work right here. He's got an exclusive interview with Chris Chan during the arrest. These officers are trying not to die laughing. This guy watches the kill stream. You know he does. Like, I'm
Yeah.
a Virginia boy. He's got that mustache.
Keeping their heads down.
Should we finish this? There's another 2.5 minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
taking it one moment at a time, and I got my loves.
Well, that's good.
Josh Moon, did you dirty?
Oh, well, that's just the one thing. That's a kid. Feel free, just go ahead and take it. I just a picture of muffins for my little phone.
I've never seen Chris Chan before. I've only heard legend.
It fell off my back. I did not want to lose it. And please, I would like that.
What's up, Jesse? Boy, we almost missed it, huh?
It is the end of the world. I really feel that way.
Yeah. It's everything's coming together. The dimensional merge is real.
Yeah. Dimensional merge.
does want to help you.
Yeah, we were
I'll
trying to get you
explain.
on the show, but look, when you get out, look me up. Killstream. You know who I am or not? We saw what Josh was doing to you, so we wanted to come try to talk to you.
Josh Moon of Kiwi Farms.
Right, the former owner before Matt Jarbo bought it.
Okay.
I have no weed, I have no drugs, I'm completely gone. Like I said, crispy, there you go.
Christine, is the merge coming?
All right,
It's happening now. We're on the burn
the
line.
merge,
We're red.
it's happening right now, isn't it?
Right now, it is.
We're living it.
It's happening right now.
They putting him in the
Farewell,
front seat?
Chris Chan.
That's the back, right? The front is no.
Well, there goes Chris
That's the front
Chan
seat.
to the Henrico
Oh.
County
Yeah.
Yeah, right up
store
front.
here. I don't think they've had an arrest like this. We just got here too.
This is like the first time that no one's filming the police.
Someone's literally filming the police.
Mm-hmm.
That was a weird statement.
Which one of you want that busted?
What is the deal with Chris Chan? Has Chris Chan been in the public eye since she was a child? Is that what this is? I mean, what? I don't understand.
No, Chris Chan is a comic
appreciate
book
y'all taking
creator
the time
with
for me to
pedigree
answer.
to rival yours.
What?
That's what I understand. Yes.
Yeah.
was that?
Okay, that's about
Was that a scoop or what, ladies and gentlemen? What in the world? Oh, that's
How are you
all-
wearing a long sleeve
Yeah,
rugby
dude.
shirt in Virginia in the summer and not dying? What are you doing?
He
Well,
did.
when you're 6XL, and I listen, I understand, I sympathize. You go to TJ Maxx and you take whatever's on the 6XL. Obviously, often it's a long sleeve shirt.
Oh my God, that is.
You
I
just gotta
would be
cover
dead.
up.
They would have to resuscitate me.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Hard.
Chris Chan, somewhere near 20 years ago, created a comic character called Sonichu, which is a cross between Sonic and Pikachu.
Right.
Yes, and so since that happened and people found it, people have been watching Chris and observing.
Were these comics published? I mean, do they look like comics? Can you buy them? Like, where is Sonichu?
I think it just exists on the internet and in the minds of all people everywhere, because that's what Chris was talking about with the dimensional merge was coming. So Chris created this universe, Quickville, CWCville, whatever, it doesn't matter. And this universe that Chris created, she believes it's real. And that it's a separate dimension and that our dimension will merge with it.
And then what? Like, what is this is the dimension where Sonichu lives and all of the
Yes.
cartoon characters?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yep.
that's the dimensional convergence. And then what's going to happen?
I don't know. I guess Chris goes on to become God. Maybe
Oh.
something.
Well, this is just, I don't know, just a monkey wrench in the whole works. Having to go to jail for fucking your mom.
Yeah, that's the problem. it's a tough sort of hurdle to overcome on the quest to godhood.
But, well, to be fair, you can do anything you want when you're, close to becoming a god. You don't have to obey the laws of man.
Right. Can these bars even hold you? I don't think so.
No, of course not. Do whatever you want to do. And eventually when Sonic Pikachu arrives, and you are the king of Sonic Pikachu. By the way, I can think of 1,000 cartoon characters that I would rather have on my side than a mixture of Sonic the Hedgehog and Pikachu.
And that's why you'll never be as famous, handsome, or successful as Chris Chan.
Touche.
Pick the right ones right out the gate. But anyway, so yeah, it's just a massive disaster going on. I'll be watching it. I don't know how much we want to talk about it tonight, but that's what everybody's talking about. And it's going to be a big story over the next couple days. So we'll see. We'll see. And then it'll go away for like, 8 months while they wait to actually get a court date.
Yeah.
So that'll be great.
Linkovich Tomovsky says, stay in your lane, Ethan. I will. Believe me. I'm going to put up walls around my lane. A lot of people are mad at me. They don't understand. They're like, why? Ethan doesn't even grasp Sonichu. A few people are on my side. Thank you, chat. Thank you. A few people are saying Cyberfrog would kill Sonichu, and he most certainly would.
I don't know. Have you seen Sonichu, like the drawing or anything?
I think so. Yeah. Do you want to pull some of that up and let's just take a look?
We won't spend. I know people don't want to spend too much time on it, but I mean,
no,
look,
you don't want to. I think they do. Actually, I think the chat actually likes this stuff. You don't want to spend any time on it because you don't want to get sick on your Sunday evening. I'm interested. I don't know anything about this. This is all new to me. I saw Chris Chan was trending on Twitter, and I went, well, why? What did Chris Chan do? And then I went like that. Oh, shit.
I mean, you're a pretty good artist. I've seen some of your sketches or whatever, but like not even close.
Go, Sonichu. Go out and zap to the extreme. I will. Thank you, Father.
So there you go. Hand-drawn premiere issue of Sonichu number 0. We've got some, whoops, I'm clicking on the wrong screen there.
Oh.
There we go. We've got this one.
Yeah.
Another Sonichu. Go Sonichu, go out and zap to the extreme. This is number 15. So the kind of the same theme going on.
A lot of commanding him to zap to the extreme. What does it mean to zap to the extreme?
I think as a derivative of Pikachu, they would have similar lightning electric powers to zap things.
And then if you zap to the extreme, I mean, that must be the Sonic half of it. The extreme part is Sonic. I get it. I understand now. There's a picture of Chris Chan with a young fan in a Kiss shirt.
Yep. She looks comfortable.
Better times.
So, yeah. So this, I don't know. This is Sonichu. It's developed its own cult following, and then there's going through the entire story. It takes a lot. I mean, there's a lot of background, 20 years of lore, to go through.
Did anybody ever help him? I mean, look at that one really nice depiction of him there. You're down. Yeah, that one there. That's fine. Who did that? I will. Thank you, Father. Like that's pretty good. So,
Gab Montero 9389 on DeviantArt did this one.
Fan art.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
But
I like it.
Yeah.
I like this whole. It's very imaginative. I gotta say, Sonic does look good as a Pikachu.
Yeah, I mean, better. I think the yellow suits him.
There's a pop figurine. Hopefully, that's just fan art bullshit as well. Oh Christ, it is. Okay, good.
Yeah, it looks like someone 3D printed it and made a fake pop box.
Okay.
But Sonichu references have shown up in various aspects of pop culture. I think there's like, even on Family Guy or something, there's like a Chris Chan or a Sonichu reference that happened. Like it's bigger than people would think. And the internet's reaction to it, it trended on Twitter for like a day straight. So like it's pretty big news.
Yeah, I guess this is just kind of Chris Chan's an internet celebrity. I was impressed that Ethan Ralph was there on the scene. Like he knew. How does Ethan Ralph know this stuff? How did he know where Chris Chan was staying? And how did he know that he was being arrested at that moment? How did he know to get there?
I don't know about the arrest, but I think where he was staying was leaked on Kiwi Farms.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was this weird hubbub. There's a GoFundMe created by Josh Moon, and that GoFundMe generated. This is before any of these allegations came into being and solidified, but the GoFundMe was or an Indiegogo or something. I think GoFundMe in exchange for commissions. Basically, you would donate, and then Chris would do commissions. So he lined up like 100 commissions. So about $5,000 worth of money and work. And Chris was working on those commissions. And then when the protective order came in after the allegations got out, right? So these text messages were leaked and the phone call, that 9-minute of horror phone call was released. And then a protective order was issued and Chris was kicked out of the house. And then they took Chris's mom for some testing and observation of some sort. And so then Josh thought Chris was going to be sleeping like in a car because he didn't have anywhere to go. But then Chris took $750 of his mom's money from her bank account, did a bank transfer. And that bank transfer was considered a betrayal, I think, by Josh, and also a potential violation of the protective order because Chris would have had to access his mom's money and she had a restraining order against him. So he shouldn't have been doing that. And so then I think at that point, he told, I don't know if he told Josh or someone where they were staying, like where they got the motel. So I'm guessing that's what happened about where it was. As for how Ralph managed to show up at the time of the arrest, I have no idea. Because I think the arrest was a complete surprise to just about everybody. But maybe he got a tip from someone in Virginia law enforcement. I don't know. He's in the same state, you know, so and I think not very far away in general. So who knows?
Yeah. I'm revulsed, but I'm fascinated at the same time. I want to know more about this clown. And that's why Kiwi Farms exists. I can go and read probably 20,000 pages worth of information about Chris Chan and get myself caught up pretty quickly. So interesting.
Yeah. And if one thing the chat pointed out, the reason Ralph was wearing that long sleeve polo is that is the shirt that Chris Chan is wearing in the.
Oh, okay.
I didn't catch that. I didn't know. Look, I'm not a Chris Chan deep lore expert here.
Holy shit. What a genius.
He's in cosplay.
Ethan Ralph. Oh my God. I don't know how the chat feels about Ethan Ralph. Is the chat pro Ethan Ralph or are they anti Ethan Ralph? I would like to know. You guys, if you're supportive of Ethan Ralph, just put a 1 in the chat. And if you're not, could you put a 2 in? What do you think?
Yeah. I think we're going to get a mixed bag on that one.
You think so? Pretty even?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a mixed bag. Ralph's a lightning rod. I get along with them, but I'm lovable. I get along with everybody.
Yeah.
So but that's not how everybody else feels about Ralph.
I've seen some strange. Yeah, I never had a problem with him. He invites me on. He's very nice to me. When I come on there, haven't really had a problem with him. But it looks like a bunch of different numbers, and very few of them are 1s right now. So
yeah, lots of 2s, 3s. I don't know if a 3 is I like him and dislike him, or a 3 is I dislike him extra. So it's tough. It's tough to say. But yeah, so that's the Chris Chan stuff that's going on. Like I said, that's going to be a story that'll carry on for a while as people talk about it and as we learn more, and all of the details will be horrifying, I'm sure.
Yeah, I want to learn less about it.
You asked me to go down this rabbit. You begged me. You were sitting here like, no, we need to talk about this.
I need you to make sense of it for me. And I think the chat kind of does too. I just I read about it on Twitter and then I immediately found the recordings. And I just don't have the context for all of this. So I need to feel like it's going to be okay. I feel like it's going to be okay. I feel like this is just a limited outburst of spurgery. It's not going to infect more people. It's just Chris Chan. I hope so.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, and there's all sorts of potential tie-ins. I mean, the chat has lots of theories about, for example, like how much Josh knew about the situation, because he's had contact with Chris for a while. He used to talk to him, I think, over the phone or something, but that's been a bit. But he's had conversations with him via email and stuff like that. So there are other characters involved. And of course, Josh and Ralph hate each other. like dramatically hate each other.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They've been having a slap fight back and forth for probably a solid year now. And it has shown no signs of slowing down.
You know, for the people in the chat who are saying I only have room for one fat Ethan in my life, could I just suggest that it be me? I would like to be the fat Ethan in your life. If you can only handle one. Now, if you can handle two, maybe Ethan Suppley, you know, also me and Ethan Suppley. 3, go ahead and bring in Ethan Ralph. I'm just saying. Some of you have enough love in your hearts for plenty of obese Ethans. And I salute you guys. God knows.
It's a beautiful pitch right there. Look, if you only have enough room in your heart for one fat Ethan, let it be me.
Yeah.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah.
I'm your Huckleberry. Okay, so let me hit a couple more of these chats real quick that came in before the show, and then we'll get into this. I guess let's hit the trademark thing. Let's get the background on that, and then we can talk about the filings and stuff. I'll bring them up on screen. So we've got Maddie Ice says, can CWC identify as not being related to Barb? I believe she was booked as female. I'm not really joking. Would this be tenable? Okay, so yes, they do have Christine booked as a she. That is the booking screenshot I have seen, that her gender is listed as a she. Now, people are making a lot of the gender of Chris Chan. Some people are saying the incest statute doesn't apply to women, only to men. And so the mother and daughter thing doesn't apply. I read the statute. I reread it after people brought that up. I looked at the case law, and I can find literally nothing to support the assertion that it doesn't apply the same to mothers and daughters. I think what people are talking about is that there's gendered language in the statute. It says his, but his is often used as a gender neutral term, or used to be used as a gender neutral term. When you had his and hers, you would just say his, and that would encompass everybody. And in some states, they actually will say his or her, both as gender neutral terms. That doesn't carry the same weight. And the opening of the statute is any person who. So if you say any person, but then limit it to men, that doesn't make any sense. So I don't think that that's a big deal. Would she be able to identify as not being related to Barb? No. And I would humbly suggest that the gender that she's booked under will not matter as much as biological sex in the state of Virginia for a crime like this. Humbly. I could be wrong, but I don't see anything in the case law to prove me otherwise. Trucker Rob says, if I recall, the Jewish texts say Lilith was Cain's wife. She's not in the Bible, though. Yeah, that's in the Book of Adam and Eve, which is a Jewish myth text. It's part of the Christian Apocrypha, and very interesting read.
And a cover-up, obviously.
True. It was written in 1964 after the 7 Days War was concluded, and it was so that the Jewish people could distract the world from what they had done.
Is that true?
Up. Oh. No, I made that up just now.
Shit. What a load of bullshit. Jeez, I reject it wholeheartedly. Interesting. Okay.
Jackson Kai says, can Nick star in the movie about the U.S. women's soccer team versus the 15-year-old boys? Get him a contract like Scarlett Johansson, please. Please. Did you hear about that though? We joked about the women's soccer team, but you know, like 2 years ago, they lost to a 15-year-old boys team.
Yeah, I did hear that. That's right. Yeah. I mean, you know, Cecil used to say, our friend Cecil used to say that he could beat up Gina Carano. I mean, even like, and I was like, I don't know if that's true, but I want to see it happen. You know, he used to say,
I could beat up Gina Carano.
He said even the most obese, out of shape man could beat up the most in shape, tough, trained, all that stuff woman. Is just, that was his theory. I'm not sure. Maybe.
I think in some cases it's true. Just by physics, right? Like you get a dude who's 600 pounds There was a fighter like this. His name was Emmanuel Yarbrough. He's an American sumo wrestler. He's at one time was the world's largest athlete at 7'7" and over 700 pounds. And the question is, what could a Gina Carano or some similarly situated woman do to a man that big? Like, what would you do?
They don't have the leverage. They don't have the weight behind their punches or kicks to affect a man that big, no matter how out of shape he is.
Yeah,
now, I saw there was a ridiculous thing, some totally fake UFC type fight between a big fat sumo wrestler and a female fighter. And it was such bullshit. She hit him like 3 times and he fell down. And I was like, this is bullshit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Not a lot of women have that kind of punching. Let me correct that. Not a lot of men have that kind of punching power.
Of course not.
It's crazy. Okay. Felron Mega says, the Iron Omega. Jesus. The Iron Omega says, hey, Nick, haven't heard your take on the whole Games Workshop stance on fan films. Do you think they are shooting themselves in the foot? Yes, I do. I think they're being ridiculous. I'm hoping to have a good guest on to talk about it this week. Stay tuned. We'll see. Otherwise, I'll be releasing my thoughts on it very soon. It's UK copyright law, so it's way out of my wheelhouse. But I think from a business standpoint, it's a really stupid move. Jose Gonzalez says, woohoo, the men's USA soccer team just won the Gold Cup against Mexico. No woke BS in the whole tournament and was watched more than the Olympics. USA. Cool. Awesome. There we go. Okay, those are the early chats.
Can I just tell you something that you don't know? Why am I echoing? Is that me or you? Do you hear an echo of me?
I occasionally hear me come back through my speakers when you talk.
Because you're not wearing headphones. That's why you don't have headphones on. But anyway,
I mean, I could put headphones on, but I don't know if that'll. I thought it was coming through your end, but if it's my fault, then I'm just a rank amateur.
No, listen, I would never say that. How come? Oh, now it seems to be okay. Some people are saying no. Been me. No echo. It must have been. I must have been hearing things. But you ever watch Muppet Babies?
I probably did as a kid, at some point.
Did you know that Gonzo was non-binary trans? If you could share my screen real quick. Yeah, I just discovered this. I've had a problem with Muppet Babies for a little while. This new version of Muppet Babies that they've got on right now.
What the hell is that?
This is Gonzo's real self. Children's TV show Muppet Babies has sent a heartfelt message of love, acceptance, and validation to gender non-conforming kids everywhere. There are lots of those, right? Gender non-conforming kids. I mean, I can't think of a more common category. Yeah. So in any case, I'm not sharing my audio right now, but Gonzo comes in and hold on a second. They bring him a slipper and they're like, we can't find the princess who fits this slipper. And Gonzo says, I've got a secret for you. The slipper belongs to me. Gonzarella. So I rise for my queen Gonzo.
Oh, God.
Y'all, this non-binary Gonzo is here. And they're celebrating the...
I rise for my queen Gonzo. First of all, that person belongs on the wall. Like just, I don't care what Muppet Baby gender you are. You don't rise for a Muppet Baby unless you need to be on a registry. What is that?
This is all bullshit. I don't know what it is with this show, but I got angry originally. My daughter watches this show. She loves the Muppet Babies. And they didn't have enough female characters, so they just added this penguin. What the fuck is this? This penguin. Now, the whole thing about the Muppets is that all of them are mentally ill. I mean, that was what was funny about Jim Henson. Like, each one of them had deep neuroses and psychological defects.
Yeah.
Summer the Penguin doesn't. She's just like, hey, everyone, let's go play.
She does look like she's in the headlights of an incoming bus.
Oh, I wish she were. I'll push her there. She's a terrible, terrible character. It's just, not a big deal, but it just kind of went along with my whole thing, my whole like philosophy of how like SJWs cannot create characters, and how dare they fuck with like Jim Henson's ingenuity. I mean, this guy could create great characters. They all had, I mean, you could say, what is Miss Piggy like? Who is Miss Piggy?
She's a consummate narcissist. I mean, like, that's what Miss Piggy is. She is narcissism.
That's correct. That's perfect. It's just as simple as that. She's profoundly flawed. She doesn't realize that she is a fat pig, and she thinks she's Marilyn Monroe, and she's in love with a frog, which is fucking weird. What is
why would that be weird, Mr. Van Sciver? I hear you have a particular affinity for frogs as well.
I know, I caught myself up there, didn't I? Another fat pig who likes frogs.
You've been caught in 4K there, buddy, with your hypocrisy, and you're going to have to get it out of here.
But this is what they're doing. I mean, they did Blue's Clues. They brought transvestites to Blue's Clues, and now they're bringing gender nonconformity to Muppet Babies. They are coming for your kids. These people are just coming for your kids. Literally, probably too. But they are actually. Sorry.
You just brought up a great point about the Muppets that I never really realized. Like they're all just various disorders of some sort. And like and I think that's good. Like Animal is obvious. He's like oppositional defiant disorder and probably some reactive attachment disorder. Like that's amazing. These are like kid diagnoses made manifest that kids could all identify with.
That's correct.
And now Gonzo is there to be the trans kid.
What the hell, dude? Gonzarella. Oh, maybe it's time. Maybe Chris Chan was right. Maybe
God. No, Gonzo, please hear me out on this.
Okay.
Gonzo needs to transition fully and have an inverted nose.
Oh, shit.
If they don't do that, then they screwed everything up.
Get that nose. Oh, my God. That would be so inspirational. Like, I've had enough of this. It's coming off. Oh, my God. Yes. And build an innie.
He's got just like a slit in the face. Every time he breathes, it opens.
We can't do this anymore. We can't allow these people to make cartoons for kids. I went through a whole thing today explaining why He-Man was about the patriarchy and all of that stuff. I mean, just the opening credits of He-Man are spectacular. Very simplified.
It's mean just the new one, of course.
No, I mean, the reason why the new one exists is because the old one existed first. I mean, anybody who really looks at the original He-Man, if you are a third wave intersectional feminist, is going to find it to be extremely problematic. It's called He-Man, okay, macho masculine men, and the masters of the universe. In other words, macho men, masculine men, testosterone rules the universe. And you watch the whole opening credits, and it sums it all up, Nick. I mean, if you watch the first, like, it's 20 seconds. Do you want to go through it with me?
Yeah.
Okay, I just pretend that you do. I like that about you. You're like,
I love He-Man.
You do?
The original. I'm not like, I cannot categorize myself as a fan. Like, I don't know everything about He-Man, but I mean, back in 1987, 88, 89, whenever it was on, I was watching those cartoons. Like, I was watching He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe, but it was in the days before DVR, right? So I didn't catch every episode. I just caught all the episodes I could. I loved watching them.
Well,
I watched the Herculoids. That was a great show.
Was it?
Yeah. No.
No, okay. It wasn't a great show. Looking back, and neither was He-Man, but it had a good message for kids. It had a good message for our young men. All right. Now, Nick, this is going to blow your mind. I want you to just share my screen and let's go through the opening credits. I'm wrong. It's 1 minute and 12 seconds, but we're going to.
We're not going to do it. Ethan Van Sciver's lies come to the surface yet again.
We'll make it work. We'll make it fun. Here we go. Ready? Filmation presents.
And the masters of the universe.
Big masculine macho
And
voice.
the masters of the universe.
Of the entire universe. I don't
All
see
of
any
it.
mention of women here. None at
No.
all. Okay.
No, it's not mistresses of the universe.
Yeah, of course it isn't. All right, so here we go.
I am Adam, Prince of Eternia.
Here we go. We've got Adam. Adam, of course, is the name of the first man that God created. Whereas Eve, no mention of Eve. Adam is the Prince of Eternia. In other words, he's going to inherit forever, eternity.
Adam is also the Jewish word for man.
Oh, how do you like that? I am man. I am the Prince of Eternity. That is so well summed up. Now, you'll notice one thing about Adam here. Not only is he wearing Mormon undergarments here, he's wearing undergarments. He's also, which expresses purity. He's also wearing pink, which kind of suggests sexual immaturity for men just a little bit. So that's important. We're going to find out a little bit more about that in a second. Yes.
Or saddled comfort in his own masculinity. Right? There comes a point in some men's lives where they go, you know what, I can wear that pink shirt, but I'll call it salmon.
Yeah, that's not. See, no, that's soy. No. All right, here we go. Next line.
Defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull.
Okay, so we've got Defender of the Secrets of Castle Grayskull. What is Grayskull? What is it? First, it's a castle. It's an artifice built up by strong stonemasons. It's Castle Grayskull. Gray meaning old, okay? Deceased, perhaps. Yeah. Skull meaning, it was built on people by people who are long since gone. This is the artifice. This represents the society, the functioning society that mankind has built. This is the status quo. Castle Grayskull represents the status quo. And also, it's got an interesting Grayskull, kind of brings a little bit of skull and bones, kind of a fraternity kind of thing to it, doesn't it? A little bit of you're in the club here if you're a part of Castle Grayskull.
And he's defending its secrets. It has secrets. It has lore. It has knowledge behind it. It's contained. And we know that if it needs a defender, the presumption is that knowledge, that arcane secret is desirable. It is something that it merits defense. And not only does it merit defense, but we know that it merits defense from the primogenitor man who will inherit eternity.
Correct. Here we go.
Grayskull. This is Cringer.
This is Cringer, his fearless friend. Okay, now this can be interpreted in one of two different ways, and I'm gonna tell you how you can look at this. Now, first of all, you can see Cringer as a virginal woman. It's a pussy. It's literally a vagina.
Yeah.
Okay, has not been penetrated yet. That's one way to look at it. Or you can look at Cringer as representing men who need to be led by a stronger man, men who are just looking for leadership. Okay, in order to go into battle. But I prefer the pussy interpretation. I had to say this in my own live stream. Yes, my wife was listening upstairs and was concerned. She's like, why do you keep saying pussy? We'll get to that. Okay, so that is what Cringer is.
Because I kind of like the second one because as the man who needs leading, because when He-Man activates, when Adam activates and becomes He-Man, and becomes like, the alpha leader that he ultimately is, then Cringer also becomes like powerful and brave.
You're about to, I'm going to tell you why.
I'm stepping too far.
You're jumping too far ahead.
Okay.
You're missing some clues. You're missing some references that are going to lead you right where you need to be. Okay. So
gotcha. I'm
Cringer, my fearless friend. Fearless, of course, is sarcastic. It's being sarcastic here because Cringer is terrified, a little bit like a schoolgirl, okay? Afraid of becoming an adult, of all the things that go along with that. So here we go.
My fearless friend. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword.
Okay, now he is actually pulling out his penis. This is a young man who was learning about masturbation for the first time. Okay, so he's pulling out his magic sword. He's realizing his fabulous secret powers of procreation, but also just orgasm. Okay. It's great to be a man. It really is cool.
Is there any issue with the word fabulous?
It's a little
The
gay.
fabulous powers.
Fabulous secret power. A little gay, but you know, I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know what the he's still wearing pink. So
He
all right,
is. It's salmon, Ethan.
it's salmon. Okay, here we go.
By the power of Grayskull.
Okay, because of the traditions, by the power of Grayskull, based on the traditions that have been established by men who are long since dead, men who have empowered other men, young men like me, to take over and become, you know, the princes of eternity. By the power of Grayskull, he says, as he's holding his penis, and as you can see, semen is about to, okay?
Yeah.
Boom. That's orgasm.
There's an
right there.
explosion. Yep.
Right.
and it-
Okay. So the lightning represents a couple of things. It represents seminal fluid, and also it ain't white for no reason. This is literally white power that's coming out of his sword. Yeah. I didn't create this. Don't blame me. This is not. I'm just interpreting it.
Now, is the white power you're referring to as the power of semen or the power of racism?
It is both, I believe. It's possibly both. It's open to interpretation. Again, this is not, I'm just saying what I'm seeing here.
Okay.
And
gotcha.
I think what was intentional.
Look, I see an 8 in here. Just to the left of his arm, you can see an 8 in the lightning. I think we might find a 14 and another 8 in there as well if we really look for it.
Interesting. Okay, here we go. Boom. Suddenly there he is. He's a full-fledged man. He's wearing an iron cross on his chest. I don't know what that's indicative of, but a little strange. And he is he's now the master of his penis. And again, covered with white power all around him.
And
blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
Yeah. Yes, and he also has achieved post-nut clarity at this point, which I think is important. This is when men are at their most creative, their most productive, and their most dominant, because their mind is no longer clouded by their biological imperatives to procreate. So they're able to accomplish, and that he had to reach release prior to fully realizing himself as a man of action.
So right. You are so correct. But of course, it's still masturbatory up until what happens next. He says, I have the power of holding onto his penis. He's like, oh my God, this is great. All right. He does. And then the point of penetration. This is when he's actually now having sex with, you know, a woman for the first time. And because he does this, you know, you can see, boom, just shot his load right into the, you know, into Cringer, the, you know,
just all over her chest or whatever.
Right. You can just see, what do these look like? They look like sperm. They look like sperm cell flying everywhere. That's not a coincidence on an accident.
And the blast is so powerful that it is actually ricocheting and bouncing off, like some of it, you know, most of it's going in to her, but you have some of this leaving the area. That's potent.
Of course it is. Now watch what happens to Cringer. Battle Cat. Okay, so now we have put a saddle on the woman and we are able to ride. We have tamed the pussy. You know, it is now fully fledged a partner. A woman is a partner. And yet at the same time, we've thrown a saddle on it so that it's going to be able to be ridden more frequently and without fear.
Right.
Okay,
Mountable.
100%. Okay.
Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe.
So take this, you cuckold. All right, boom. Lou Scheimer. What a great guy here. I just want to shout out Lou Scheimer, executive producer. This is all here. You know, these are obviously his ideas. So why is He-Man necessary? Why is he important? Why does he need to do these things? What is the purpose of being a man? And I'm going to show you.
Only 3 others share this secret.
Ooh.
Our
all right.
friends, the Sorcerer.
The Sorceress. Beautiful, mystical womanhood. Fertile, divine goddesses. I mean, real feminine women. Sorceress and the magic of femininity. They understand. Real women understand that men are the masters of the universe. Okay?
And the magic of short shorts.
Yes, indeed.
They are magical.
Yes, they are. Who else?
Taurus.
The military, man at arms.
Yep.
Man at arms also understands the secret that men must rule the universe. And so this is the military.
And he's recognizing, of course, the power and necessity of violence in the hands of capable and wise men.
Yes, of course. Of course. That's all in here. It's all implicit. And it's necessary for what we're going to see next. Orko here. What do you think Orko is? Does Orko represent a condom? Kind of?
I think it might be science. Because you know what they say? Like, science is magic that you don't understand yet.
Yeah.
All right. No, wait.
Magic
is science. Magic is science that you don't understand yet. So I think he is science, right? Like in learning and research.
Yeah, I like that. And that, again, something that men excel at. And, you know, people bring up a few women like Madame Curie and stuff like it. Yeah, they're the exception that proves the rule that most human progress has been engineered by men. All right. So why do we need to know all this?
Together we defend Castle Grayskull from...
All right, now this is the thing. Together we defend Castle Grayskull, so mankind's traditions, morals, our laws, our ethics, everything that we built up, we need to defend it from filthy, disgusting, fish-mouth feminists.
Oh, filthy. That looks like Leslie Jones.
Feminists suffer from fish mouth. And then, of course, you know, this is your standard.
Oh, my God. That looks like Leslie Jones, too.
Yeah, you see. Just standard, you know, Twitter SJWs. And what do they want to do? Well, they want access to, they want control of the traditions. They want control of society, essentially. Now, who gives them control? Because ordinarily they cannot get into Castle Grayskull, but for this, Skeletor. Now, Skeletor represents a weakling, weak men.
Oh, I thought it was Kate Moss. Because of the thinness, but okay, so weak men though. Got it.
Right, exactly.
No muscle.
Well, I mean, you know, in the 1950s, they'd go, "Hey, Skeletor," to a skinny little guy. You know,
they did that in the 80s too. In
the 80s, all throughout time, Skeletor. We think of the word Skeletor, we think of this, but Skeletor actually means a male weakling. That's what the expression's always meant. So weak males, soy boys, are the ones that are necessary in order to allow access to society, to good normalized society, to fucking weirdos like Beastman and Merman and, you know, whatever Trapjaw is meant to represent. And what is Trapjaw meant to represent? Fuck, dude, look at that guy here.
Trapjaw is meant to represent the trans community.
Oh.
Because of the trap.
I didn't even think of that. God bless you, Nick. Thank you. Sometimes there's a coded message in there that I can't find. But that's what this is all about. You understand. This opening theme sums it up. It spells out a boy's mission. Your job is to be a man. It's to tame women. It's to make women your partners. Women are to be respected. They understand. Real women understand that men are the masters of the universe. We need a strong military to protect society, protect America. That is what the status quo, that is what Castle Grayskull represents. And it is your job to stop these soy boys from allowing weirdos access to everything that normal people have built. And that is what He-Man is.
Evil forces of Skeletor.
Evil forces.
Very evil.
And there it is. And, you know, once you see this and you have been red-pilled to He-Man, like I've just red-pilled your entire audience, 1,550 people are now seeing, they're through the looking glass. Now you understand why Kevin Smith was ordered to do what he had to do.
You got to tear it down.
Exactly. Okay, He-Man's going to get a sword through him, and now shaved head lesbians are going to avenge him. I don't think so, gentlemen. Gentlemen in the chat, I don't think so. Now, we can't let these people do this. We cannot let them take over the secrets of Castle Grayskull. Metaphorically speaking, we must defend Castle Grayskull using our penises and white energy. And what else? Science.
I think penises and white energy is probably enough.
Yeah. All right. So that's anyway, today was church for Comic Artist Pro Secrets, and I taught them a little bit about He-Man so that they could understand what exactly was being taken from them by the new Netflix cartoon.
No, and I think all jokes aside, I think it's critically important to understand that okay, the emasculation of He-Man is as bad as the defeminization of Barbie.
Oh, yes, indeed.
And
it's the same effort.
The trick with the defeminization of Barbie is it's the same as the emasculation of He-Man. They're appealing to the weaker of the genders, the weaker members of each respective gender, right? Like, so when they took Barbie, they're like, girls, you'll never look like this. And of course, there are women out there like, what the hell? Like, I work really hard to look like that. Yeah, I might be the 1% of women who can pull it off, but hey, that's because I am working to do this. Same thing with He-Man, because that's one of the defenses, right? When they would say no woman can look like this, and they just put a figure of He-Man next to it. It's like no guy can either. But there's some big dudes out there trying to be He-Man also. And so they try to appeal to the weaker members of this, like Kevin Smith, for example, being one of the weaker members of the presumptively male gender. They say, look, Kevin, we know you'll never look like He-Man. And they don't realize that He-Man is a metaphor. Like, you don't have to look like He-Man to be a man of action, to be a man of strength, of courage, of protector of secrets. Like, you don't have to have all of the muscles. That's how he does it. But the muscles are that's a metaphor for strength.
Personal strength, sometimes inner strength, the strength to stand up to soy boys and weirdos and protect what's important. You know, that makes you He-Man in a way.
I think modern storytelling through visual mediums like movies and story and comics and so movies, comics, TV shows, all of that stuff, they've lost what was really built throughout the 50s, 60s, and 70s of film, where the symbol, having the visual was such an important part because those were symbols, right? A kiss in the 50s meant the characters had sex. Mm-hmm. Like a real kiss, like an intimate kiss. That was a sexual encounter in the 50s. They didn't show it on screen because of various, decency laws and stuff like that. But that's what they're conveying to the audience. This is a sexual encounter. When you're drawing He-Man in the 80s, the musculature of He-Man is just an easily identifiable symbol for any kid watching to go, that guy's strong. That guy's a badass. Like automatically. But they take everything literally now, and they've lost the value of that symbolism. They don't know what it means. They don't know how to use the visual medium that they're in. They want everything to be like a spoken word epic from Homer, but just with visual aids. But all their visuals are giving us is actual aids.
That was great. Very good. There are people in the chat who are very upset with me. They're saying, but Skeletor is actually just as big as He-Man. Again, it's all a metaphor. The fact that Skeletor is muscular just means that he's an imposing threat to Castle Grayskull. He is muscular, so physically he can fight with He-Man, but really it's not about physicality necessarily. But
he's big and imposing, but he doesn't have the muscles. He doesn't have the strength. He's bones. He's just bones, but he's a big set of bones, but he has to be imposing because He-Man is such an ass kicker.
Yes. How do you like that, Nick? Do you feel like you've learned something today?
I do. Do you want?
You do.
You asked a yes or no question.
All right, let me sell some frog toys. Some frog toys.
Talk like a lawyer. You got to ask me, what did you learn today?
What did you learn today? All right, what did you learn today?
This is something I've actually learned several times when you're on, and you may think this is a joke, the audience may, but let me assure you, it's not. It's that when men get together who actually love something that exists and they analyze it, you realize like how much goes into it. Not everybody may buy your interpretation of the He-Man intro, but I bet most people who watched that He-Man intro never thought that there was any meaning to it, but somebody actually wrote the words. Someone storyboarded out that intro and they said, this is going to be at the beginning of every single damn episode of this show. What do we want to say? And that's what they chose. And so you actually do need to look at these things and really say, why did they choose it? And I think when people do, they find real meaning. Like they'll actually find that these things were chosen by some really smart people, making decisions that they felt were important to convey messages to children. And some people take that job pretty damn serious.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly, I think I'm 100% right about the He-Man intro. I think I'm joking about it, but it's definitely there. It's definitely true.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm not disagreeing that you're right. I'm just saying that even if you're not, or even if people aren't willing to accept the truth of what you say, maybe that's the better way to say it. Even if people are unwilling to accept the truth, there is meaning there. And if they spend some time, they can derive that meaning. They can try and figure out what these people were trying to tell people. But everybody writes off like 80s kids cartoons as these little hokey sort of story delivery guys. I met the guy who approved all these scripts back in the 80s. His name is Sidney Iwanta. He worked for the TV production studios, and basically all of the family programming from the early 80s to the mid 90s, he would greenlight the overarching script for. And he came to our college. He talked to my screenwriting class, and he kind of told us how he fell into the job. He was an English major and had no idea what he was doing. They sat him down. They said, Sidney, can we show this cartoon to kids? And they handed him a script. And so he went through and like did this big like deconstructionist like breakdown of the script and handed it back. He's like, here's all the problems with it. They're like, no. Listen, wow. Can we show this to kids? Like, is this okay to deliver just these basic messages? And so then he started relooking at it. He's like, yeah, this will work. You might have to change this or this. And that was his entire job. Like everything, not just cartoons, My Little Pony, Transformers, He-Man, G.I. Joe, Full House, stuff like that. He was going through all of it, all family programming. He was the guy. So, but there was actual thought and work put into what was coming out of these shows. I think people write that off because they seem hokey today. They seem hokey because they use symbol. Anyway, I'm preaching too much here. I'm preaching way too much. Let's pull up your Indiegogo for these frog toys.
Oh yes, I got toys. Here's the thing. My response to weirdos destroying pop culture is just to make a pop culture that's weird, but it isn't, subversive in any way. Well, maybe it's subversive of the culture that they're trying to subvert. But I've been working with Comicsgate, which is very important to me, to allow other creative people who are not soy-based to create alternative media. We can complain about this stuff all day long. And we've complained about it for 4 years and it's gotten worse. They just laugh at us. The Nazis are saying that, what we just did to He-Man is bad, so it must be good. We've pissed off all the right people. The only way to really do anything about this is to walk away from it and create our own culture. And so that's what comic skaters are working on doing. We're able to do it because it's only comic books. It's a good start. I've got Cyberfrog out there. We're going to try to make some action figures.
Yeah. I've got them pulled up here. You are closing in on the goal. $380,812, $400,000 fixed goal. You got 2 days left. These are serious toys though.
Yeah, I've got Cyberfrog here. I've got the actual Cyberfrog action figure, the Paint Master here, so you can see how big he is, how incredibly detailed he is, and he's very, very posable. So that's what we're trying to mass produce. You can't do this. I mean, ordinarily, the idea of making action figures that are as good as Hasbro toys, And by the way, Hasbro is going to gatekeep people like me out because they're currently their mission is to teach critical race theory to kids through their toys. I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. So we have to do it ourselves.
What happened to the mission of a company being, let's make some money?
Yeah,
like, what happened to that?
Great?
I know what we should do. Like when they get to the board meeting and they go, okay, what are we going to do here? What's our goals? What's our goals for 2022? And one guy just goes, hey, we got a lot of shareholders. How about we just like try and make some money? Like, why don't we license some good properties and make some good toys and put them on the shelves and see if people buy them?
So they take that for granted now. They just assume, well, the money's going to come. So while we're accepting their money hand over fist, let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can teach all white kids that they are racist and they owe a debt of, I don't know. They need to apologize to black people for something that happened 300 years ago. Let's see if we can include that into our action figures and our toys. And I just don't know why. There's something very, very strange and subversive going on in kids' pop culture. And I want to change it. I want to be a part of the movement that actually helps to create the world that I see, that I want. What's that phrase called? Be a part of the change that you seek, or be the change you seek?
Yeah.
I literally want to do that. I want to be a part of that. So, we're working really hard. Fortunately, we have crowdfunding. We've got each other. We've got this network on YouTube, including you and including a bunch of other comic skaters who have YouTube channels so that we can get the word out and reach people. If you are somebody who is not, if you're an adult who isn't a toy collector, shame on you. You should be collecting toys. They're fun. But if you're a parent, and fortunately, this audience is made up of not a whole lot of childless weirdos like SJWs. A lot of us are parents. We have kids. Please get some Cyberfrog toys for your kids. And we're going to try
toys. Not this shit that they're putting. Like, okay, so a lot of YouTube channels put out toys, right? Some of the big ones, like FGTV or that Ryan's World kid.
That shit sucks.
All those toys are trash. My kids, they want this is the thing that everybody's doing right now. It's the little mystery box. It's like, oh, you don't know what toy you're getting. It's like, thanks, assholes. 36 different ones. It's like, good. That means I'm tangentially approaching my target of owning all of them. My kids like the Roblox toys or whatever. These things break, they fall apart, they get lost all over the place. They're low quality, they're low energy. My kids like getting them, and then I've never seen my kids play with any of this stuff. These things, one, they're obviously for adults, they're collector pieces in some way, but they're also, I noticed it was a couple weeks ago, you added a lot of posability, and articulability to the figures. Like you made them. Yeah.
Show the toys. Yeah, this is the thing. Like toy collectors really like the toys to be super articulated, and they already are competitive with Marvel Legends, but we've added a few more. Every time somebody complains and goes, he doesn't do this, we fix it, and it costs money to fix too. It's fucking crazy. But we put a ball joint in his neck. We've given him double jointed elbows so his arms can literally touch his shoulders. We've given him a bicep swivel. His toes are individually articulated. He's just a whole lot of fun to play with. It's just a really, really good toy. And the paint job is second to none. It's just spectacular. So that's Cyberfrog. This is the modern Cyberfrog that goes with the comic book that I'm making right now, that I'm putting out. Look at the toes. Look what they do. Look how cool that is, Nick.
That's crazy. I mean, so again, growing up, like the most articulable toys I played with were Transformers, because they had to transform. So they had to have lots of little moving parts and joints and everything like that. But even so, like they're at the end of the day, that was all the function of the transformation. It wasn't actually the function of the toy's playability. You could articulate every single part of a transformer, but they couldn't, Like you couldn't have one arm just like go across the chest. It was impossible to have their arms move the way you wanted. Some of them had two-handed weapons. You couldn't even have them hold them in two hands. Their arms didn't go that way. It was like, what the hell is this? You've got swivels and joints and bolts all over this damn thing.
The more I know, the more we, I don't know, the more toys evolve, the more people demand more articulation. And this is our first try. This is our first shot at actual articulated toys out of the gate. We did PVCs, which were very, very well received. They're like non-posable kind of miniature statues of Cyberfrog and Salamandroid, but we're going all in now, and we're going to try it. A lot of people said we couldn't do this. All right, so if we hit 400,000, which we're very close to, you're going to get those 3 sets of hands for Cyberfrog, and you're going to get an extra head as well, like a little swap out head.
That seems. Nice, I didn't know Indiegogo would let you give head to people for funding your.
That was our ad. Free head. Get head from Cyberfrog campaign. Yeah. You're going to get that alternative head with his mouth open and you can see his teeth. We're working right now on a Cyberfrog with his mouth open and his tongue coming out so that you can wrap it around a villain, It's going to be pretty cool. So that's modern Cyberfrog. And he also, if we do better, and I'm hoping we do better, if we get to 500,000, we're going to add that bee stung head with a stinger right through it, nice and bloody. And if we do better at 550, we're going to give you this gun. We'll put a cannon on his arm. So you just swap out the hand and then slide the cannon up on his forearm.
Like Bruce Campbell or whatever with a chainsaw.
Yes. I want to give 2 of them. I want to make 2 of them per Cyberfrog. So he's got 2 like cannons on his arms. Show this to kids. They're going to love it. And if, if you don't have any kids, you're going to love it. This is the 90s version of Cyberfrog. When I was a kid, I did Cyberfrog in the 1990s. And, we just decided let's make that version of Cyberfrog too. Slightly different, completely different head sculpt, different wrists, different knee pads, different paint job.
Missile knee pads?
I call them toaster oven knee pads. It's just, I don't know what they were. I just drew them one day.
I kind of thought missiles would fly out of them. If this were a Japanese toy, that would be missile pods, right?
That's a good idea. Yeah. Just like 8 missiles out of each of them. That'd be pretty sweet. So there he is, same articulation, toes move and all that stuff. And as the campaign does better, we're going to add more things to it. Well, first of all, you're going to get a stand. You're going to get the extra head. You're going to get the 3 sets of hands. Same hands. Here's his evil grin head that you're gonna get.
Oh, that's good. What the symmetry? It makes it asymmetrical. It gives him a little expression, little cocky attitude. I like that.
Yeah, that's his evil grin. And you're gonna get a hand if we get to 500,000. A hand holding a Vespis head, which I think is pretty cool. And then at 550, we'll give you guns that he can wear. As well.
With rocket launchers coming out of the tops of them also.
That is right.
I've determined those are rockets. Again, in Japan, those would be missiles.
All right.
Here we've got Heather.
Heather is our most popular toy. We've actually, when Playmates Toys sat me down to do Cyberfrog toys in the 1990s, they were going to do a line. They didn't want to make Heather because they said female toys don't sell. And that is true. Most female toys are peg warmers. They just sit on the pegs. If you look at Star Wars toys, they just sit there.
They don't call female things peg warmers, but I'm with it. I'm 100% with it. Warm your peg and Heather.
That should be her name, is Peggy Warmer. No, Heather Swain has sold better than the Cyberfrog toys. And I think it's because she's, one of the most beautiful female sculpts ever. The cool thing about the Comicsgate community, as it were, is that we've got so many talented people that watch the live streams and that participate, but they're working deep within Hollywood. They're working deep within, the system, and they're afraid of being blacklisted. And they fucking should be afraid of being blacklisted because it will happen. So people just work with me on the down low. There was a really great sculptor who did this Heather Swain thing. And I said, holy shit, can I buy that? So I actually bought the digital sculpt from him. We broke it down into an action figure. And here is Heather Swain. and she's just undeniably beautiful. She's a really, really great looking action figure. She looks like she's ready for war. You know, she's wearing the same clothes. I mean, you know, the world ended in 1998. It's now 2018. So they're all wearing clothes from that era, but they're all ripped up.
I can't wait to see her articulable hands.
Yes. Yeah, they're down there. We had a thing about trying to get her crotch right. That was not easy. You know, when you're articulating a woman's legs in an action figure, there ended up being this kind of negative space made by between the two legs that looked like a dong. And we had to work on it really hard to make it look more like a vagina.
Yep. From behind, it kind of,
you can see it down there.
Kind of hangs below the ass cheeks.
We did our best, but it looks cool. I think she still looks pretty great.
She's got to have a thigh gap though. You can't have those thighs touching. That'd be weird.
I don't know if her legs.
No, she definitely has the thigh gap. That's the correct thing. If you're making an action figure woman, she would have a thigh gap.
Yes. I actually put it up for I showed everybody on Twitter and said, "What's the problem?" And they let me know. There's Heather Swain there in her, she's like, "I spit on your hive." You ever see the "I spit on your grave" movies?
Yeah.
That's a variant cover for Wrecked Planet.
That's nice.
Thank you. So we got she's gonna get, those are her hands. Look at the top set of hands. Perfect. Those are my favorite. Yeah, that's what we got to get her. Right there. She's got fists. She's got open hands. And this is the best thing. We are going to include the ponytail, the war ponytail swap out head. Everybody wants this head. You know, everybody looked at this head and they said, "We want this head." And I said, "Okay, well, we're going to include it. Once we get to 400,000, everybody who backed Heather Swain will get the ponytail head." So that's good. Nice. And then there she is smiling.
Oh, you're such an ass. I love it.
Women should smile. And I've said that all along. Women look good when they smile. I had some SJWs.
If you get to 600,000, you should include a little speech bubble attachment. And it should just be for Cyberfrog saying, "Heather, you should smile more."
Well, I got some SJW saying, "You say that the women should smile. Heather Swain looks pretty miserable in those toys." So I went, "I'll fix that." And there we have, we've got the very happy Heather Swain smiley face. She's having fun with her friends. And she's got a whole weapons pack that's going to come next at $550. You're getting a ton of, that's brutal. Those look sweet. Yeah, Wasp killing gear, alien Wasp killing gear. And then last but not least, so that she can have lunch with Cyberfrog, she's got her big gulp, big drink hand that she can swap out. Cyberfrog's got chicken. And then the last thing that we have going on is the Vespis. And the Vespis is huge. Vespis are alien wasps that came down from, they're basically infested planet Earth. They can turn human blood into honey to feed their young. They chew up human flesh and bone, mix it with their acidic saliva, and create paper, hive material to paper over cities. They basically decimated the human race and treat whatever's alive as cattle. They're very smart. They're cruel. There's the size differential.
Yeah, these are big, menacing villains.
I believe we've created the best insect action figure. And that's saying something because Japan loves this shit. They do bees. They do action, like articulated insects. Ours is really good. Every joint on each one of its legs is articulated. Its wings flap, and its thorax with the stinger, or its abdomen, comes forward to get into a stinging pose. They're big. You can buy them 2 at a time and army build a Vespis army if you want a swarm. But yeah, they're going to come. He's going to come with the stand as well, so that you can put him into flying poses.
Nice. And then stretch goals. You get the stand, of course, at 400,000. 600,000. We get
maggots.
Larva.
Yeah, gross. Vespis maggots. And this is the biggest one because this is going to be very expensive to make. But at 800,000, I'm going to make this playset here to come with your Vespis, which is a melting human being. It's becoming a hive. You can see his sneaker, you can see the bones and everything. It's really pretty gory, and it'll look great. You can put the maggots in there and everything. It's a nice little playset. So It's so much work. Oh, and this is the variant version of Heather Swain. It's the variant. If you order all 4 of them, you have the opportunity to back the variant edition where she's wearing the white all caps comics t-shirt. So
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
This is work. I mean, this is actual real work to produce this. I've been working on it for a year. We do it all by ourselves. We don't have a big company behind us. I'm working with people who have worked for Hasbro, have worked for DC Direct, have worked for Sideshow Toys. And they know what they're doing. I'm very fortunate to have them. Again, they're being very quiet. Everybody's very surreptitious about this. Nobody wants to get canceled, but we do want to beat these fuckers and produce something that's worthwhile. So we're very, very close. Once we get to 400,000, we will be funded. And when I say funded, I mean we'll have just enough money to make the toys. I will not get to keep a cent of it. We just want to make the toys.
Jason Smoot with a big donation says, EVS, why is the Wasp peeing?
Some people think that's okay. That's the stand that he's on, and he's got a stinger.
I thought it was the stinger.
Yeah,
they were talking about. Let's get down to that Vespis again.
I mean, he's got 2 different. You might think he's peeing in 2 different directions, but no, he's got a stinger, and then he's got that.
He only does that the morning after sex, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got a stinger here. It's a meaty stinger, something you would find on like Coyote Peterson. Very terrifying. And then this is not pee. This is a clear translucent plastic stand.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to suggest that it's pee, that's cool. But I mean, it's coming out of his midsection, really. So then it's coming out of like underneath his rib cage. So that would be weird. I don't know where a bee's penis is. Do you?
No, I have not. We have bees around, but I've talked to a few of them, but I've never gotten to that crucial question of like, can I see your penis?
Where's your genitals? Yeah, pardon me. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard all of the bees that I see are male because the women are lazy and just stay in the hive or whatever. So where's your penis?
Yeah.
Prove it. Prove these scientists right, you bigot.
The queen.
Right. Bees are the ultimate simps at the end of the day, aren't they?
Yes, somebody in the chat called it a beenus. It is a penis. Of course it is. Great job.
Oh my God. Okay, so this is great, guys. I'm going to share it in the chat. I'll add it to the description as well, so people can certainly back the toys. I need to read some chats, and then we've got to talk about the trademark case.
I'm being attacked on it from every side. All I can do is put up a good defense.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing about this is you're not on the offensive here. Some people could accuse you of various things. What they can't accuse you of is attacking the people who are the person mainly. It's mainly one person who has brought lawsuits against you. But you are on the defensive here.
Sure.
And
on the side of truth and justice.
We will not be talking about the defamation case from Preston. We're going to avoid that one for now, but we will talk about the trademark. But I want to read some super chats that have come in, and then we can do that because I've fallen behind on them. Phoenix Lord Asterman says, "How dare you stream while Sitch and Adam are doing a show? This isn't an easy choice of who to watch. Also, get Josh back on to talk more Chris Chan." We'll see. I don't know if he's going to say much more. He basically said that was the last he was going to say on the matter after Chris. He posted the stuff about Chris taking money from his mom. So we'll see. Jason Smoot says, EVS, can you elaborate on what Cecil has meant to you through your rise in comics and in life? Thanks. I'll hang up and listen.
Cecil has been a never-ending drain on my emotional energy. He love bombs me. And basically makes me do emotional work, toil on his behalf. I've dug him out of more gutters than I care to remember. And he's funny, though. He's amusing sometimes. Most of the time, though, what a pain in the ass. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Who else was doing the love bombing?
That was we learned the word love bombing from Mags Visaggio and Sean
Mags!
Gordon Murphy.
That's right. It was Mags. I was like, I know one of these weirdos was love bombing all the time. And so Mags was calling out Sean Gordon Murphy for love bombing. Is that what it was?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. We learned things, you know, from SJWs. We learned because they make up things that sound awful. And love bombing just means schmoozing, being kind of a kiss ass in a sort of Hollywood way. You know, as you would, like, oh, darling, I love your work. You know, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I call it, quote, the way these people act. Because when you're around them, they do that to everybody. It's so superficial. It's obviously phony. Nobody likes it, but it's like a way of behaving.
Well, it's like we went through this. I explained that it is like social grooming, like chimpanzees. You know, in the chimp kingdom. And in most great apes, in order to fit in with the society, you have to pick and eat the gnats off of and the lice off of the other chimps.
That's horrible.
But that's what you do. That's social grooming. Oh, I'll do it to you. Now you do it to me, and now we're friends. You know, and we do this to each other every day. Now, if the person is dominant, you know, you'll bend over. One chimp will bend over and the other and say, please fuck my anus. You know, that's the other part of the animal kingdom. I'm talking about the animal kingdom. And don't clip that. I love the internet. And
this is in the context of what Cecil does to you. Okay, this is good.
And anyway, that is the animal kingdom. That's where love bombing comes in. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Beautiful. I hate myself for asking. By the way, guys, we have crossed the 1,000 like threshold a while ago. I just wanted to let you know I am drinking. I have an Ardbeg Ergodile tonight. This is a fantastic scotch. It's hard to find in my area. My local whiskey dealer had 2 bottles, so I grabbed one. Jason Smoot says, Nick, is that bourbon you're drinking? I just cracked open my last bottle of Blanton's. Nope, this is scotch. Like I just said, Ardbeg Ergodile. How dare you send in that chat before I mentioned it? Very rude of you. 200-watt studio says, I don't think anyone has room for a fat Ethan Van Sciver. Huge. There's no 6 feet of separation when Ethan is in the city, let alone a room. Ouch.
Yeah, but there, you know, social distancing is over with for now.
In some states, it's making a comeback.
Oh, by the way, in a month, we're going to be right back to lockdowns again. I believe that. It's total bullshit.
Yep. I can't wait for my state to go back into disaster. That'll be fantastic. Because see, what happens is Minnesota follows the watch of Gavin Newsom and Gretchen Whitmer and Cuomo. So whatever those 3 chomos do, Tim Walz is certainly close to follow. ASO says Chris Chan isn't a person. She is a Sonichu. So how does that work in the law? Ask the sovereign citizens how well it works out to say I am not a person, but I am a something else, like maybe a corporation or whatever, or I am a natural man. The law doesn't care. Doesn't care about it at all. Okay, I've got these documents now. Let us pull them up.
Maybe they should care. Maybe the law should care. And maybe that's something we need to fight for, is the rights of dragonkin to fuck their mothers.
Do you remember? So my favorite part of covering the Google lawsuit that James Damore filed, this would have been like 3 years ago, they mentioned a presentation put on by 2 other kin. One was a wingless golden dragon, and the other one identified as a, how was it? It was like I'm trying to think of the right word. It was a building, but there's a particular like era of architecture that they had picked. They identified as a building though. And what do you think about that?
Was it the Taj Mahal? I mean, was it?
No, it wasn't a particular building. Like it wasn't like a famous building. It was like a type of building. Large ornate building. Thank you. Yes, that was the word. They identified as a large ornate. So I guess the Taj Mahal would qualify under that description, but it wasn't specific like that.
What do I think of that? I think it's great.
How would one do that? How do you identify as a building? Like, what does a building do? This is what I don't understand.
It allows a lot of people to come inside of it.
Didn't think of that, and now my day is ruined. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, on to this. So here, can you give us a little bit of background about what's going on in this lawsuit? So this is in regards to the a trademark dispute between you, as you claim to be the owner of the copy or of the Comicsgate mark, not necessarily a trademark, but a service mark, which is, it's all the same. It just depends on what the mark is used to do, is how you make these distinctions. But so you claim to be the owner of what's called the Comicsgate service mark. Yeah. And Common Sense Press Incorporated, doing business as Pocket Jacks Comics, which is a corporation of some sort, an entity of some sort owned by Preston Poulter.
Right.
Is trying to register a trademark, 2 trademarks for comics, right? Is that correct?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So so Preston says, I own Comicsgate, and has attempted to register those trademarks. Has 2 pending applications, and trademarks are weird. You have to register a mark for like a whole bunch of different stuff, even though it's all for the same thing that a normal person would see. But like, you have to have one to like put on the comic itself, and then you have to have like a generic mark as well for other trade uses that you might encounter. This is why I don't do trademark law. It gets way too
very complicated.
complicated. But okay, so he is filing the 2 registrations, and you are opposing those. Is that the best way to word this? You're opposing the registration?
Well, initially he was fighting Antonio J. Malpica there, who filed for Comicsgate 2 or 3 years ago. Antonio Malpica, aka Critias, who actually said, I'm going to be doing this. Turns out that Critias needed to utilize the Comicsgate trademark for something, and never did. Never used it in commerce. And so Preston Poulter evidently decided, well, he had this idea that he was going to register Comicsgate in order to gatekeep it, in order to decide who gets to be Comicsgate and who doesn't. And there's this whole very strange thing. He's left a trail of breadcrumbs about his nefarious, weird purposes for wanting to claim Comicsgate. In the meantime,
I'll say this. You don't have to confirm or deny anything that I say here on this, because I understand that you have specific legal actions, including this one against Preston. But Preston has, from my observation, this sort of deranged proclivity for attempting to weaponize the legal system to make other people miserable in some way or another. Like that seems to be, and that I'm basing that not just on his filings, but on his actual statements about why he's doing stuff. He seems to think that he can leverage money against people through the legal system. And I find that to be particularly repulsive. So that's my opinion of that. Okay. So Critias had filed a registration, but never used the mark in commerce. Now, of course, you have been using the mark in commerce for the going on, 3 years now, a little over. Yeah. Over 3 years. I think it's over 3 years.
It is. It was June of 2018. I started something called Comicsgate Live, and I started to do a YouTube show, collected all kinds of super chats, and also utilized Comicsgate Live to date raise something like $7.8 million
more
in funding.
It's in the filing here. It's like 8.8.
Oh, okay. 8.8 million. We've basically been using Comicsgate to make money. Of course we have, and it's all been centered around my activity. So I always assumed that I did own the common law trademark and had prior claim to it before anyone else, and I thought that that was pretty concrete. Never really thought that I would need to actually register it. Didn't want to do that necessarily, but now I do want to do that. I love Comicsgate, and I think it needs to be defended. I think the trademark needs to be defended by somebody who understands what Comicsgate means, so that I can maintain ownership of it and also put it into practical use in commerce. Continue to do that while defending it from people who don't know what it means or don't like it.
Right. And let me break down a couple different of the legal ideas here. So in trademark law, you have a trademark. Now, a lot of you guys have seen like the little circle R following a logo or whatever, a brand. That's a registered trademark. That means that they have taken, typically with a logo, they take not only the wording, but they take the exact representation of the logo itself, the font that they use, the colors, all of that stuff. And they go and they register it with the trademark office. So they file, they say, we are Pepsi. We own this little P with the blue and the red around it. Like we own that thing. That logo is Pepsi. And if anybody else were to use it, that would cause something called brand confusion. People would think that it was representing us. So we are the ones who use that. That's it. So you don't have currently, but you have filed for, but you don't have currently a registered mark. That's only one aspect of trademark law. And that registration carries with it various benefits, presumptive ownership. There's a period of time that after you have a registered trademark, it becomes really, really hard. It becomes quote unquote impervious to attack, but it's not actually impervious, but it's a legal term that they use to describe it. And it carries with it something called statutory damages, where if someone violates that trademark and you can show it, you win damages under the statute, not just the damage that you can prove. So it gives you some weight behind it, but that's not the only type of trademark there is. The other is called a common law mark. And this is where before the trademark office was created, because this is created by the United States. People don't realize that trademarks and patents were created by the US Constitution. They didn't exist. They didn't exist in the firmed up way that we have them. But there was this sort of idea of common law ownership. So that means it developed through the court system where people said, there's no registration office or anything for this, but I own this. This is me. I'm Bill the blacksmith. I've always been Bill the blacksmith. I hammered out my sign that says Bill the blacksmith. I hung it. And this guy, William, is trying to be a blacksmith and he wants to call himself Bill. And that guy's a piece of shit. So like they would have these disputes over it. And so the English common law developed a sense of protection. Says, no, you can actually own these things. They didn't have a whole field of law for it. So we developed the trademark system, which had registration and this very nice rigid set of rules around it. But we also incorporate the common law thing. So when you start using a name in commerce, you don't have to go through the burden of getting a trademark, of registering a trademark. You start using it and it's unique and it's identifiable to you and your business. It's yours. You own it. That recognition is there. In the same way that if you wrote a story, but didn't send it to the copyright office to copyright your story because maybe you didn't think anybody would buy it, you own that story. Someone can't come in and like write this, like steal your story and publish it just because you didn't register a copyright on it. So that's what's going on here, is that there is the registered mark. That's what Preston is applying for. That's what Ethan is now applying for. And there's also the common law mark, which is it's a recognition of ownership that predates registration. That's very thorough.
Good job. Yes.
I could see everybody dying on the inside while I said that. Sorry. But, so I've read through this. This is an 11-page motion. And this intro actually summarizes kind of the action pretty well. So I'm going to read this real quickly. Petitioner Preston, has based his entitlement to bring this cancellation proceeding on the fact that petitioner's own trademark applications were suspended in view of defendant's registered mark. Okay, so here's what's going on. Antonio Critias, as people know him, as Ethan said, has a registered mark but didn't use it. So Preston files his request to register the Comicsgate trademark. It gets rejected because there's an existing mark. They say, no, you can't have this. Somebody else has this. Well, then that gives you the statutory grounds to bring a lawsuit to cancel the mark. You could say, yeah, he has one, but that asshole isn't using it, so I'm going to take it. And that's the basis of Preston's action. Where Ethan comes in is he says, okay, yeah, that's fine against Critias, but it's not fine against me because I am a common law holder of the mark. So ordinarily, this is a standard uncontroversial grounds to seek cancellation of that registration, but this is not an ordinary case. Here, as defendant will show, petitioner's applications are void ab initio. This is my favorite type of Latin because you can just kind of figure out what it means from the beginning. They're void at the start. Petitioner filed 2 applications declaring its intent to use the mark Comicsgate, but petitioner was not the proper party with a bona fide intent to use this mark. The public record, largely a selection of petitioner, this is Preston's own admissions, show Comicsgate in commercial use years before Preston filed his applications. Thus, Preston is a mere intermeddler, a self-appointed guardian of the trademark register, and has no statutory right to bring this cause of action. So what this whole thing says is that, look, he's going after this mark that someone had registered because they didn't use it. However, he's ignoring the fact that he doesn't have any right to use it because someone else already has been. And has been for a while. And that would be Ethan in this case. So that's the main sort of thrust of the arguments that are in here. I read through this. It's a very well-written motion. It's concise. It's 11 pages, which made me not want to die.
That's good.
A lot of times lawyers are like, oh God, it's got to be 30 pages like that. Mm-hmm. I just got to write 30 pages. Like, no, please don't. But the arguments summarize pretty much what I've said. My favorite part is, I think it's section 3C, where we get to find out. Yeah, 3C is where we get to see all the stuff Preston has said about this, which sinks his whole claim to it. That's my favorite part. So it's, or is it 3D here? Yeah, here we go. 3D. Preston admits Comicsgate was used in commerce to promote the sales of comic books prior to his application filing dates. So now we get some statements here. Here we go. These are things Preston said on YouTube. And guys, this is actually the downside of being someone who talks on YouTube a lot, is that you record stuff. And then the public can go back and review what's recorded. That's actually mentioned in the lawsuit. It's also true. So, quote, Preston, I like to get different quote. As a small creator, you're going to naturally kind of find yourself either falling in with, or having to actively reject the Comicsgate crowd. Because if you're looking at, the biggest numbers put up on the scoreboard for indie comics, they're going to be dedicated Comicsgate people such as, Ethan Van Sciver and Richard C. Myers. It's just Meyer.
Meyer, yeah.
And Ethan Van Sciver has gone on record as saying, hey, if you're a comic creator and you're Comicsgate friendly, come on my platform. So here he is. I mean, this is back January 9th, 2020, which is prior to his filing of these registrations. He's admitting, even here, that there is a Comicsgate crowd, Comicsgate people involving biggest numbers and a scoreboard, and Ethan Van Sciver and Richard Meyer. So this is great because even if he doesn't think that you're the owner here, he acknowledges that it's either you or Richard, right? Like, it's not Preston.
Right.
That's the best part. And you know, he's put some impressive numbers up there, not only for himself, but also Antonio Bryce with Brand. He was able to take a guy who had just an idea for a comic and, you know, just some preliminary artwork and get him to now 55,000 on the crowdfunding website, Indiegogo. And so, you know, there's certainly that temptation to go, okay, I'm all on board with Comicsgate. So
You're
again,
welcome, Comicsgate. You're welcome. Look how great that is. That's true. I mean, just aside from this bullshit,
right.
Antonio Bryce, just a man with an idea who had tried to crowdfund a comic book on his own, and he couldn't do it. And he came over to Comicsgate, and we got him to $55,000 at the time worth of funding, so that he could make a comic book.
And he ended up at about $79,000. Like he ended up doing much better than this by the end of his campaign. This was still while his campaign was selling. So
it's the magic of Comicsgate. It's great.
He says, and for me, this question has gone beyond theoretical because Indiecron, the website where I listed Guinevere and the Divinity Factory, Indiegogo page, has now come out and said all future submissions must be official Comicsgate projects. So this is beautiful. The reason that you want statements like this is he acknowledges here that there's somebody, even if it's not Ethan, that he's, because that could be the argument as well. I didn't think Ethan owned Comicsgate. It says, well, but you know that there's somebody or something that does, that isn't you, that you're in the out group. That's the whole way he has phrased this, as he and other people are outside of Comicsgate, and that Ethan and Richard Meyer, these guys are the ones who does it. He doesn't know if it's Ethan. He doesn't know if Ethan and Richard has a general partnership or like an LLC that they created. He's not acknowledging specific ownership, but he acknowledges that something exists, and it drives. This is the best part. By combining that with this, here he is saying this is driving money. And that's what the trademark office cares about, because a critical aspect of trademarks, specifically common law marks, is that they have to be used in commerce. So you can't just register a trademark and not use it. You have to generate commerce with it. And here he is telling the future court that he would not have any idea about at the time he's talking about this. He's telling him, just this one project generates $55,000. And yes, $55,000 is more than enough to secure a mark. That's commerce. Any amount of commerce matters. But this is only just one comic. Like you said, there's technically, and this is elsewhere in the filing. I don't know if it's where it is specifically, but it's over $8 million that has been generated. Which does anyone argue that $8 million of revenue is not a business at that point? That this is not participating in commerce. I don't know how you do it.
I love it. I love hearing that stuff. That makes me so happy. You know, I love that people come to Comicsgate. They associate Comicsgate with me. I'm a big part of it. And we come over here and these guys get their comic books funded. It's all I want to do. That's what I want to do with the rest of my life. So I know people, you know, some people are like, just let it go. Just let Comicsgate go. Who cares? It's a tainted brand, because SJWs have said it's this and it's that. Wikipedia has defined it as such. It's not tainted to me. I love it.
Here's a great part in this to show you how untainted it is. Your lawyer includes a very nice passage right here. This is actually beautiful. And this is, again, this is another thing that you want to have happen so that you can put it into your trademark suit. They're going to quote a trade publication to talk about how Comicsgate has launched you into prominence in the comic industry itself. Like, there is, thank you. I think, who is it? Rich Johnston, right? Or Johnson, the guy who does Bleeding Cool.
Yeah.
This guy, I don't know if can we say how much of a favor Rich Johnson did you?
By putting this out there? Yeah.
He has to love you. Like, this is a ringing endorsement from a recognized trade publication that comic professionals routinely interview with. You couldn't ask for better stuff than this. Rich Johnston may have just very tangibly helped you retain a trademark for Comicsgate. It says, Mr. Van Sciver's successful use of Comicsgate in promoting independent comic book creators soon gained recognition in the comic book industry. At the end of 2018, for example, a popular digital magazine following the comic book industry, I would have called it a trade publication, but this works, Bleeding Cool, placed Mr. Van Sciver on its top 100 power list, Exhibit 8 at 2. Ethan Van Sciver, and then these ellipses just to note that there's superfluous words between the usage that the lawyer needs. Ethan Van Sciver used Comicsgate to raise over $500,000 on Indiegogo. This is at the beginning. This is back in 2018.
Well, that's just for me. That's $500,000 just for Cyberfrog. Yeah, not including what we've helped do for other people. But yeah, I got on the top 100 power list after having been canceled. By the comic book industry. I'm one of the top 100 most powerful people in comics, according to Bleeding Cool, which is not a fan. They're not fans of mine. Rich
Johnson must be a fan. He did such a solid by doing that. He has no idea. He has only given you more power. It's probably the best thing he's done in his entire life.
I love it. It's great.
I'm not here to just. Oh, here it is. When last checked, this website, this is creatorgo.com/CG that displays Indiegogo campaigns, which the fans have associated with Comicsgate. This is very, very important that a fan has associated these things with Comicsgate. One of the critical aspects of trademark lawsuits is the idea of something called brand confusion or consumer confusion or consumer doubt. So if you have two Comicsgate, like Ethan's doing his Comicsgate live show, he's promoting comics under the Comicsgate label, and then someone else comes out and they say, Comicsgate is this, without his permission, suddenly people are like, oh yeah, this must be a thing that Ethan and other Comicsgate creators are into, but that might not be true. That's customer confusion. So the fan who created this has compiled the thing. They have associated with the brand Comicsgate these crowdfunding projects. When last checked, this website reported Comicsgate crowdfunding figures in 2020 and 2021. So this is just these 2 years. This doesn't count 2018, 2019, totaling $8,872,786. Your year-over-year growth on Comicsgate is huge, by the way.
I'm like Scarface.
Yeah, you've got a pile of cocaine, but instead you're snorting up a bunch of comic book prints.
Our yayo is comics,
But no, this is another great thing to have. You have what's going on here in this is you have like this nice storm of all these different things that you would normally want, because and before, let's get your ego in check after what I'm saying here. This is what any business that is active in trade should be generating, right? A business is active in trade should be generating evidence that it's active in commerce. You've got customer reviews. You've got people talking about your product. You've got trade publications or newspaper articles saying, hey, there's a new business in town. It does this. It's Moe's or whatever. Like, you have these things happening, and that's what should be happening. It's great to see it happening in our space, though, because, this digital space that we're all making money in now we're pioneers in this. This is only a couple years old.
No, it's the Wild West. I mean, I really feel like we've just moved out west away from the big cities of the East. And we're building our own little towns. And it's like, well, we don't have Marvel or DC or Image or Boom. As comic book publishers, we have to learn how to do it ourselves. We have to learn how to fund things ourselves and create our own town. That's what we're doing right now with the Cyberfrog toys. We don't have a toy company, but we should have one, because we're making all of these children's toy properties. Children's comic books. We're creating all these IPs. There should be toys. So let's start building it now. That's what Comicsgate is. It's part of what Comicsgate is. And it's, again, I know this is what I want to spend the rest of my life doing. I don't ever want to stop doing this. I'm going to be 85 years old. I'll still be Comicsgate and still be building something.
It's gonna be on YouTube. Like, listen here, He-Man's about semen. I've been saying it for 22 years.
Hopefully I won't. I mean, we'll see what we build. We'll have some kind of. We'll have much more. Of a platform underneath us. Hopefully by then. But yes, I love this idea. I love the idea of taking back power from these people. It's fantastic.
We've got a couple chats here. Call Majed says it allows a lot of people to. EVS proving once again that fat people are just funnier. Just for that, I'm buying a frog. So there you go.
Oh, thank you. That's great.
Sold a frog. Jason Smoot says, what does any of this have to do with cash grab? Also, let's get John Malin over 110K tonight. Yes. Go back. Godlike by John Malin. Godlike, right?
Godlike. Yeah. John Malin's new book just launched yesterday. First 24 hours of funding, it raised $104,000.
110K for Godlike would be great, but remember that we've got 2 days left on the Cyber Frog action figures. So that's why we're talking about them tonight. I know there's going to be. I'm assuming you're going to be doing a big push over the next day to wrap those up. But there's 2 days left on the toys. Let's hit those. Buy toys. Buy some early Christmas presents for kids that you know. Teach them that. Get little comic skaters. They have no idea what they're doing, but get them in with the toys. And that's actually how a lot of kids used to get into shows. It was symbiosis. Like the shows sold the toys, but the toys also sold the shows.
That's our next step, is using YouTube to actually create our own animated shows for our properties. I mean, we have everything that we need. We have the talent, we just need a little bit of money. So we'll be, we've got the toys, we've got the comics. Let's make cartoons, and we're going to do that.
Alexander Maxwell says, EVS, though I don't financially back Cyberfrog, I'm a big supporter of Comicsgate and taking back the entertainment industry. I love to create my own manga style comic, but all my skills lie in writing. Any advice?
Find an artist.
Yeah, there's literally a billion artists. There's a billion, and they're all varying skill levels. And here's the crazy thing: an artist who might be bad at one, like they can't draw hyperrealism. You're doing manga, you don't need hyperrealism. They can't draw anime characters. Okay, don't do the manga in the style of anime. Make it something different. You can find an artist. You can pair with them. You can find someone who's in your budget. You can find someone who, most importantly, I think, is that you work well with, who can put your vision on paper. That's the trick with the artist. It's less about like what style they draw. It's less about what they do. Can they put what you have in your mind on paper in a way that jumps off the page and grabs people? I guarantee you, there's probably 10 artists watching right now at least who could make that happen. So start putting your story together, get it down on paper. If you're a writer, get it down on paper, start writing it out, and then start fishing for artists. Get an idea of how much they cost. And then, put out an ad somewhere. I mean, there's all sorts of places on the internet to find an artist. Start DMing some artists who do commission work. Say, hey, how much would it cost for you to do a full comic if we crowdfunded this thing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There are plenty of artists. I know my audience has amazing artists. I can't draw for shit. These people draw great. Jason Smoot says, bring Cecil to me. Bring him to me now. Jason, first of all, thank you for the huge donations, but I don't know if you're in a proper state to have Cecil with you. Bad things could happen. You could wake up walking weird. Okay, back to this. I have been talking very positively about your lawsuit, but I do have to point out some things.
Okay.
Your lawyer has made some critical errors.
Okay.
Let's see. Is this... I'm trying to remember exactly where they are. It was at the top of one of these pages. I thought it was 8. It's getting towards the end. You could tell he's getting tired. You could tell he was getting tired. That's what's going on here.
I like all the quotes. That's my favorite part. I like reading the quotes.
The quotes from
live
Preston?
streams. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Those are good. We read a good chunk of them. Let's see. Where was it?
We're in trouble, guys.
Let's see. Dependent. You could see how prominent the mistakes are that I'm having to scramble to find. This is good. I liked this. I think it must be on the next page. So defendant notes that Preston's knowledge of Comicsgate being already used in the marketplace in connection with comics should have stopped Preston from filing his intent to use applications. As pointed out previously, both applications require a sworn declaration under oath. It says that no other persons have the right to use the mark in commerce. Perhaps Preston was grossly negligent in signing this false declaration. This is very nice. Perhaps it was a deliberate false statement. All that matters now, besides the lies, is the fact that Preston is not a party entitled to use the mark, Comicsgate, and commerce. Accordingly, both of his intent to use applications are void ab initio. Here we go. The board has the authority to address the common law mark to the extent necessary to decide an issue properly before the board. Petitioner's right to a statutory cause of action. CSP cannot complaint that.
Oh,
done. Look at this. Look at that right there. You lose, Ethan. That errant T. It should just be complain, not complaint. Who is it?
Can we fix it?
Can you fire the lawyer? I mean, you gotta start over from scratch.
Maybe some whiteout. Shit.
You got to talk to He-Man for the whiteout. I hear he has. I hear he has all of.
He
the
has
white
the
liquid.
power. Yes.
There's one there. There's actually another one. I don't know if I'm going to be fine. So this is a beautiful. This is actually a beautiful argument. Let me break it down legally. What's going on in these? I've skipped over a lot of the argument. Again, this is a well done motion. I can't overstate that. I can't overstate that. This is a well done motion because it addresses a lot of things. So one of the arguments Preston might raise, and that's the section we're in, is addressing arguments that Preston hasn't raised but might in the future. One of those arguments is that, look, the board, because trademark issues don't go to court. They go to a board, the patent trademark board, the PTO. And the board of it's like 9 lawyers, which, God, can you imagine a bigger group of horror than that? They get together and they determine these things. So they will be hearing this. The board, what Ethan's lawyer is suggesting is that the board should go ahead and say, not only is this wrong, but you should also just go ahead and decide that Ethan has a common law mark. And in establishing that common law mark, they should go ahead and void entirely Preston's claims. Because if they don't do it now and they say, no, Preston has a legitimate claim on this, but then a subsequent action says, no, Ethan actually already had the rights. Therefore, that would strip jurisdiction from this board if a subsequent board said that you had the rights. So what they're going to say is, rather than doing that in the future and then obviating what was done today, why don't we just do it now? And then there are legal arguments presented earlier that say the board has the power to do this. The board has the power to consider these things that aren't the main issue before it because it makes the system work and it makes it work smoothly. And that's why they have it. So this is actually really well done. I'm obviously just jonesing on the minor typo here. And there is a minor typo that happens somewhere on page 10, but I don't know. Here it is. There we go. Also, no case entitles a petitioners to an unrebuttable presumption. This should just be petitioner.
Is
That apostrophe
statutory
S.
spelled wrong?
Where's that?
Statutory, is it, or is it
No,
statute?
this is correct.
Statute.
Statute. Yeah, this is
Okay.
correct. So it's just this apostrophe S on page 10.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure those are the only two typos that I saw. And it is funny because this is what I've noticed a lot in reading a lot of legal documents is typos tend to come near the end.
Yeah.
You're like getting done. You're like, you're in the groove, right? You're like,
Get
because
it done.
tell you what, the first couple pages of a motion are horrible to write. Like, where the hell do I start on this thing? And you get going, you get in your groove and you're like, yeah, I'm kicking this guy's ass. And then you get a little bit.
My lawyer's watching. He's so happy right now because he's like, that's it. I'll fix that. We're filing this tomorrow. So
I'm pretty sure that's it. I seem to remember just the top of page 9, the top of page 10 having those things. I didn't notice anything. Nothing else jumped out at me while I was looking through it. But this is all like the arguments in this thing are good. They're all sourced and cited, which is great. And you know, you never know what they're going to do, right? This is a gaggle of lawyers or a judge in any lawsuit. You never know exactly what they're going to do. So what you do is you make the best damn motion that you can, the best complaint that you can, the best answer that you can. You put it down there, you cite it all, and you say, here we go. Here's all the authority in the world for you to make your decision. Now, please make it the way I like.
Mhm.
But I think, the law is on your side. Common law is on your side. Common sense is on your side on this. The best argument that Preston seems to have is that you haven't registered, but that's not how you determine who has a mark or not.
Right. I agree. Yeah.
So no, this is good stuff, man. Props to your lawyer. It's like I said, it's well done. Scott Houtman.
There he
Scott
is.
Houtman. So well drafted motion as far as I can tell, but I'm not an expert. This guy probably could teach me a whole lot about trademarks. So, but from the basic flow of it, it's really well done. And it hits all of the things you would want from my understanding of trademark. And this stuff is just particularly damning. Plus you have like 10 exhibits. I didn't even talk about the exhibits.
Oh, they're funny. I mean, look, if you're a fan of, if you're amused by the characters involved here, this is a very entertaining filing. I'm sure they're going to post it on Kiwi Farms, and you'll be able to read it. But it's a lot of fun, and it's full of proof. It's full of actual. It has the breadcrumbs like this. I mean, this is me using Comicscape for the first time in trade.
Yeah, here we go.
12th.
July 12th, 2018. The singular Comicsgate live chat. Look at how exclusive that is.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who is anyone, the singular Comicsgate. You've established. You have unzipped and dropped it on the table in the title, right? Like, this is my thing. This is Comicsgate. July 12th, 2018. And then you have the link to all these different ones. You got Red Rooster, Trump Space Force, Kill All Men, Cyberfrog Blood Honey, Jawbreakers. And if these two alone don't elicit the Comicsgate response, I to anybody who's been watching, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
Like, that's Cyberfrog and Jawbreakers launched Comicsgate effectively for most people.
Look,
and then here's the total what those just that first live stream amounted to. $1.2 million in commerce.
yes. We're so cool, man. I love Comicsgate. I really am proud of us.
July 28th, 2018. Comicsgate used to promote Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign on Twitter. Cyberfrog leaps past 475,000 as we enter the final 24 hours. Will we break $500,000? Anything is possible for Comicsgate.
That's me, Comicsgate. That's me
Exhibit
using the
3,
word.
you got Red Rooster.
God
Here,
damn it.
these are just the campaigns. Trump Space Force.
You can see the money they raised.
Yep. You've got, so this is 72,000, 197,000, 47,000, 538,000. Jawbreakers 404,000. We've got, this is the information about the mark. This is your application. This is your application for a service mark that's going on. Here's the mark type. Filed April 15th, 2021. Status date July 22nd. So waiting for stuff. So a service mark is a mark that is used to promote other things, other services. It's used not necessarily as the product's brand name, but as like a promotional company would have a service mark. You say, we are Island. I don't know if Island Records would categorize as service mark, but we are a promotion. We're a promotional company. We're going to take other businesses and help boost them. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Guys,
So
I've
that's
already
what's
been
going
doxxed. It's perfectly okay. I don't care. My
Oh, is
dox
your-
is everywhere. No, it's not on there now, but people are like, Ethan's going to get doxxed here.
Your
Actually,
PO box.
my
Your
PO
PO
box
box
is
is
there.
doxed.
It's
Doxed
okay.
AF. Get wrecked.
If you want to
Ethan.
know where I live, check the white pages on the internet. It's there. Doxing ain't no big thing. Awesome.
So here's the Common Sense Press. This is another one of his applications or public information report. Okay.
Yeah.
That's just Preston stuff. Petitioner Preston Poulter's admissions at Comicsgate is a service mark used in commerce to promote crowdfunding of comic books. January 7th. These are the streams where these were those quotes were drawn from.
Where he basically separates himself from Comicsgate. He refers to comics. See, if you really felt Comicsgate was yours, you would be a part of it. But he says Comicsgaters over here are doing this, but we're doing this. And it's like, aren't you Comicsgate? Aren't you claiming to be Comicsgate?
But if we're doing a review to a Comicsgate audience, which, let's face it, like the non-Comicsgaters are just going to hate it regardless because they can't separate the art from the artist necessarily. So they take the artist so they're not going to like the art. So now who do we interview for? It's probably the people who simply are Comicsgaters, and that would be like doing a critical review of the Bible for Christians. So yeah, he's putting himself on the out group.
Mhm.
He's not in Comicsgate. He has to reach into it. When it comes to the Comicsgate crowd, EVS and Richard Meyer are kind of define the genre. So yeah, we've got that. This is all good stuff. Here's Brand at the time.
Comicsgate is a cult of personality that breeds artistic conformity, says Preston. That doesn't sound like something you'd want to own.
What
You know
about
that?
this one? To only list official Comicsgate products leaves the rest of us to ask, what does that even mean? I'm not part of Comicsgate is what that means.
Shit.
Richard Meyer argues that Comicsgate is simply a content label. I argue that it is instead a cult of personality around the movement leaders, that it seems to be breeding a new conformity. You can argue that, but you've just gone ahead and said that you're not in the label.
Right.
I want to talk about Comicsgate for a bit. I'm putting this under the series I'm doing for comics creators because these are decisions you're going to have to make.
Yeah.
It's thing after thing. Here it is again. Same live stream. This is your Comicsgate live stream, October 17, 2018, with Brand, Galactic Comet, Asami, Brutus, Black and White, Lone Star, Bigfoot Bill, Graveyard Shift. Here's the Bleeding Cool Power List, number 75 to 71.
I didn't even keep a copy of this, so this is pretty neat. Number 74.
Number 74. There you
Wow.
go. Above Christina Merkler, that person that everybody's heard of.
Yeah, I'm afraid I haven't, but I still feels good to be more powerful than Christina.
It's Diamond Comics' biggest comics account.
Oh, okay. Retailer. All right.
Yeah, there you go. A big one, apparently, for Diamond. Anyway.
Doesn't make me feel that great, to be honest with you.
But you're in the top 100, Ethan. Come on. So here's Pocket Jacks Comics. Group labels serve to solidify the nebulous and varied goals that make up a group's affiliation. In this case, Comicsgate is a label which EVS has defined the meaning of the group as well as defended it against use by unwanted outsiders. Oh my God.
Come on.
That's what you read. Like, that is the juiciest quote I've seen so far in all of this to me. If you have defended it against use by unwanted outsiders, not only do you stake ownership, but you've defended it. He's acknowledging, as of July 7th, 2019, which predates his filing, which was in 2020, that he knows that you've defended it in the past. He must be referencing the Vox Day stuff here. Like, that's the only thing you can take, is that he's referencing the Vox Day, a brief attempted coup of comics. Comicsgate has come to mean EVS and Friends. So EVS and Friends will decide what the next iteration of Comicsgate is. I'm guessing it will still be EVS and Friends.
Thank you.
For that matter, many members of Comicsgate have attacked creators for trying to steal/grift by presenting a comic book to them who do not fulfill their identity requirements as fully Comicsgate. Look, again, yet another quote protecting the brand. This is good stuff.
I'm telling you, this is fantastic.
It got reviewed well by Son of Comicsgate Live, as well as Comics Gateway. The notion that you look at CF as holy scripture illustrates what I've been saying. I think he meant CG. This is probably a typo.
Probably
CG
Cyberfrog.
Oh, that might be. CG is Ethan's little club full of Ethan's little sycophants.
Mm-hmm.
Flattering. Indiegogo allows Comicsgate creators of Ethan Van Sciver's choosing to run a second campaign. Again, still, like, if you're choosing it, that's a service mark. I mean, that's the whole point of a service mark. I am working for the destruction of Comicsgate and would never willingly hire anyone associated.
Holy shit.
So put your outrage where it belongs.
I am working for the destruction of #Comicsgate.
That's why he wants to own the trademark. He's laid it out there. This is all very, very bad stuff for Preston to say when he's trying to own the mark in commerce. If you're trying to destroy it, what's your intent to use it in commerce?
I feel bad now.
Why is that?
I feel sorry for him. I don't know. This is like, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that he's deliberately trying to harm me and ruin my life, I would feel very bad. This is just awful, weird stuff. But you know what? It's made me realize that I do, I do need to file for the trademark of Comicsgate. I do need to have it. I do need to protect it. And I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for these efforts. I just wouldn't have done it.
I feel like there's somebody who told you to do that, like in 2018 or something. God, I can't even think of who it might have been. I feel like maybe someone suggested that you look into
But I mean, I just thought to myself, why is it? I was like, why is it my responsibility? Why? And it just is. It just is. It's clear now. It is. And so I need to do it. And that's, I've gotten so much from, Comicsgate, Comicsgaters, people who are a part of this movement have made my life great. Look at that. The top four campaigns there are all mine on that list. I'm grateful. So I got to do my part. And it was my wife who reminded me of this, because I thought she was going to say, you want to spend money? You want to spend our money to what? Defend the word Comicsgate? And I thought she was going to say what other people had said to me, let it go. But I said, maybe we should just let it go. And she said, the hell have we been fighting for 3 years? You got canceled over this. This belongs to us. This is ours. This is ours. This is our people's. This is your responsibility to do something about this. Hell yes, we're going to fight for it. And that's why I married Andrea. She's awesome. Great consigliere, as it were. Wartime consigliere. So we're in this to win this. I think we've got a great case. I'm glad you agree with my lawyer's filing. I'm glad you think it's good. I think it's good too.
It's way better than anything I'd draft. I mean, like, leagues, obviously he's a specialist. He knows what he's doing. He's picked out, his exhibits are fantastic. He's picked out exactly what you need to show. The tweets that are devastating. So again, you never know what a board's going to do. You never know what a judge is going to do, but I don't know where else you attack this thing other than with the facts and with the law, and that he's done really well. He's presented the facts. And again, it's 11 pages.
It's
It
fun to
doesn't-
read. It is.
doesn't need to be 40 or 50 pages.
Yeah.
The board doesn't want to read a 50-page argument. They know all this stuff. They do it literally 20 times a day. And they just need to be shown that you know what arguments you're making. And in this case, these aren't novel arguments. They're the normal arguments. And I think that goes to show, like, Preston is doing something. He's attempting to abuse the system in a way it's not designed to be used. And that's what comes out of this filing in a great way. So it's very good. It's very good.
I think I think what he has been doing by using this trademark and he's put it on a few comics. I think it's fraud. I think he's been using the trademark fraudulently. I think filing for it. One of the rules before you even file for a trademark is you have to do cursory research at the very least to make sure that nobody owns the common law trademark. I can't just go, I think I'm going to call myself Ricada Law and file for that trademark. And you go, even if you haven't filed for it, you go, you fucking know full well that I do business under that name. And I'm just going to go, well, you didn't file for it, so I guess it's mine. That's
Actually,
not how it works.
I don't think you can actually register Ricada Law as a trademark because it's a last name. So I don't know if I can...
plus Law, of course you can. McDonald's is a last name.
Yeah.
It's a brand. It's Ricada Law would be.
There's some weird thing with last names. So maybe you could with Ricada Law. Maybe I couldn't register Nick Ricada. That's probably what I can't do.
No.
Is trademark me, but yeah, no, it's but yeah, again, if someone tried to enter as Ricada Law, I'd be like, hey buddy, what are you doing out there?
We've got pages and pages of proof that he knew that Comicsgate was a brand that was being used by me for years. Fully aware of that, and he filed for it anyway. That's fraud. So we'll see.
Yeah, so this is even worse because typically what you've got is like some where they should have done an internet search and looked for something. Like they should have found it, like you said. So you have a duty to check the registry, but then you have a duty to do some diligence in looking for a potential common law mark holder. And remember, those aren't registered. So there's a handy database where you can just type in whatever you want and see if it pops up and on the trademark registration. It's hosted by the patent office. It's free to use. Anybody can do that. But then you have to Google around a little bit. You have to use your Google foo skills. Find out, does anybody else do this? Is anybody else using this name? And if you can't find somebody, you still might not win. Like maybe they were just obscure. Maybe it was some sort of weird antique shop or something somewhere. And then if you're but if you're selling antiques, you're shit out of luck. That's just how it goes. So no, you have a duty to do that. And the worst thing for Preston is that not only did he clearly not do a little Googling, he's in this world. He's commenting on it. He's talking about it. He's clearly aware of what's going on. And that lends towards the idea of nefarious motives rather than just idiocy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Idiocy too, though.
It's
nefarious dumbass.
Oh, and I've been very outspoken that I think President's lawsuits, not just this one, but the other one, are abusive, that they're idiotic. They're poorly drafted for one thing, but they're intended to utilize the legal system to cause harm to people. And, not everybody involved is all that upstanding, but that doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't care if because I know there are people in this audience who don't like some of the people who are in the rogues gallery with you, and that's fine. I'm not saying that they need to be liked in any particular way, but that doesn't mean that they should have a legal system that is intended for serious disputes leveraged against them in frivolous ways. I find that to be disgusting.
Me too.
But yeah, man. Well, that's the trademark. I mean, that's where it is. We'll be waiting. I can't wait to see what happens. I
You
think
follow
you're
these
going to get.
stories? Will you? I mean, I would appreciate it. I'd love your commentary throughout this and the other case as well. It's all moving forward.
Yeah, I saw the other case. We're not going to get into any of the issues. The only thing I've seen on it is that I think you and I don't know, either Dean or Vicky have been served, but there's not too much that's happened since then. I do check in on those every couple days to see if there's action. But yeah, as they develop, I am 100% following. I've already made fun of Preston's initial filings, talked about the fact that he's changed lawyers. And I think that the reason he changed lawyers is because the first complaint was really bad, really badly written. But yeah, so I'll be definitely following along. I mean, this is the type of stuff that I built the channel on, and so I'm certainly gonna do more of it.
I can't wait. I'll watch. I'm in the audience.
All right, man. Well, is there anything else you want to say? I mean, I've got super chats to read, but is there anything you want to say on these subjects before we close out and I finish the super chats?
That went really fast. Thank you so much. That was 2.5 hours and it felt like a couple of minutes to me. I love hanging out with you. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I always have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Should we bring up, while I read the super chats, I'm going to bring up the campaign again.
Oh, thanks.
That seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, if people haven't backed it yet, maybe they want to. We'd appreciate your support. This is not one of those. This is not one of those campaigns where we're just, wow, awesome, another $1,000.
Yeah, we've cracked 382. We should talk about the perks. We didn't go through the perks. Bad thing.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah,
here's the featured perk set of 4.
Featured perk is one of everything. People like that. And when you click on that, there's an opportunity, I believe, to get the variant Heather Swain at checkout. If you want to add that on, a lot of people are doing that. We try to do add-ons so that, look, you can get one more, you can get one of this, you can get one of that. But that variant Heather Swain. And then also I will autograph all of your toys for $10. So there's that add-on as well. Yeah.
Not $10 a toy.
No, I mean, if you just order one, I'll autograph the one for $10. But if you order 20, I'll autograph all 20 of them for $10. It's just an additional.
What if I order 4, add another set of 4? It's still $10.
Yeah. I don't mind. Terrible. It doesn't take long to sign.
Terrible marketing. What are you doing? I've learned so much from conventions. I've learned that the mere act of writing your own name costs like $70 for some people.
Yeah, that is true. But it's just, for me, it's a way of just making a little extra money. I think it's a good bonus for the campaign. We're just trying to get funded. And again, this is not about like, oh, we're trying to rack up money so it goes in all of this money, every penny of it is going to go to the production of these toys. If we raise more, like if we raise $500,000, $600,000, I'm improving the packaging. I'm improving the toys. I'm going to spend every penny on making these the very, very best products that we can. $400,000 is the bare minimum. I can make the toys. I can put them on bubble card stock, and I can, do all the little extra accessories. But in order to make nice boxes, nice packaging, all this stuff, I need more money. So I'm going to, this is the last 2 days of the first 30 days of funding. If we can get funded over the next 2 days, that would be great. We'll extend it another 30 days and let's just make these toys even better.
How much do you think Jamie Lannister charges for an autograph? Think it's $10?
Oh, shit. Jamie
Nicolaj Cousteau Walder.
$50.
80.
$80.
It's $80.
I just went to the mob movie convention, Sopranos Con in Atlantic City, and it was fantastic. The most expensive guest there was Lorraine Bracco from Goodfellas, and then also Dr. Melfi from The Sopranos. And for $60, you got a whole experience. She would autograph your whatever. And they made a kind of a big, gigantic tube that you walked into. There was a door, and it was a scale model of her office. So you're sitting in Tony Soprano's therapy chair. She's sitting across from you, and there's a photographer. So you're getting therapy from Dr. Melfi. $60. Yeah,
that's a good price. You get the experience. You get the swag, like the picture memory. That's good.
It was awesome. I got the picture. I didn't know how fat I was. You should have seen me. I am fatter than Tony Soprano in that chair. I just cropped myself out of it and said, "Look how good Melfi looks." Still,
it's a fat enhancing chair.
Yes, indeed.
God, we all need one of those. Like,
no, we don't. We don't need. You might need one. You could stand a little bit of extra skin on those, a little meat on those bones.
No, I have cut 5 pounds. I was up near my max weight not too long ago, and I was like, Jesus, and I started not eating. Like, I was like, I hear anorexia works for these things, so I tried that out. It's going great.
Yeah, I cured myself of that disease. I would love to do that. Everybody right now is getting thin. Cecil looks great. John Malin looks great. You know, people are really working on it. I'm working on it too. I eat fish and salads now. I'm really trying my hardest, and I'm doing a little exercise, very little.
What always kills me is when I get busy. Every time, like, I won't eat a lot of good stuff during the day, so I'll go to the store and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get some good dinner. And I'll get a good dinner, and I'll buy like a 2-pack of Snickers, and I'll eat that on the drive home.
You just undid it. I haven't had any sugar. I've not had any pie. I've not had anything like that in like a month. I've really been pretty good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I don't feel like I've lost any weight yet. So I think I need to run more.
Dude, I don't know. Whenever I run, people are like, don't run, it's stupid. And I'm like, Jesus, what do you want?
It works though. I got everybody saying that to me. Mr. Biggins over at
Don't listen to that guy. Have you ever met that guy?
No.
He's a fucking giant. He's this big. Don't run. I'm like, you can't run. That's the problem. And I don't mean he's fat. He's like this big, muscular asshole. Yeah. He looks. People kept calling him Thor at Anime Matsuri. They're like, who's Thor? It's like this big ass dude walking around. He's like, don't run. I'm like, I better learn to run because I don't have shoulders that big. What am I going to do? I got to outrun the boulders you're throwing at me.
Yeah, it's different for everyone, I think. Well, I like to run and I lose weight when I run. It's just that, you know.
Me too. That's
the way it is.
Okay, so you can buy the set of 4.
Or you can just choose one. Modern Cyberfrog is the, I guess the main one, but Heather Swain is doing great. These are $40. For $40, you're going to get the extra 3 sets of hands. You're going to get an extra swap out head. And God willing, you're going to get the weapons and another couple of heads as well, if we can get the funding. So you'll be able to modify your Heather Swain action figure in a number of different ways. But I need you to buy in at $40. That's the bare minimum.
Guys, you could be buying 10 Heather Swains. You're a harem anime already, just by yourself. You don't even need this. You got the 90s Cyberfrog. You've got the Vespis.
The Vespis is the big one. It is $75 for a Vespis. They're gigantic toys. You're going to be really, really happy. And if you want to, there are people who are like, I'm going to start building a Vespis army. I want a whole swarm of them to fight my toys. I have them at 2. You can get a 2-pack with like a single shipping charge. And then you can get that and you can add on a second 2-pack. So you've got 4 Vespis coming in one box. Now we did, we got to, keep scrolling down there. I think like 1 or 2 more. Yeah.
2 sets of 4.
2 sets of 4. Now that, that's for people who want one in the package and one to open and play with. We're fortunate. This is we're actually making a little progress. Big Bad Toy Store is going to be the internet retailer that carries Cyberfrog toys at a marked up price. So, when this campaign is over, they'll be selling these toys to everyone, but you're going to pay more for them there. Your best bet, and I'm hoping you will, is to actually support this campaign. You'll get the toys cheapest, and you'll get them first.
There's something you haven't done on this stream, and I'm a little disappointed in you.
What?
You've not tried to convince me to buy these yet.
I'm so grateful to be on your show. I wouldn't. Please buy them. I would appreciate your support. Maybe 1 or 2 of them would be really helpful. And I think you're going to like owning them. This is the first big toy line from any Comicsgate property, and I think there'll be many more to come. So if you could get us, help us, give us a kickstart, we'd very much appreciate it. The second wave is going to have Salamandroid. We're going to do a scale 18-inch Salamandroid toy fully articulated, fully posable. Maybe his mouth will glow with purple flames. You know, he breathes purple fire. All of that stuff. We want to make that toy great. Got to get past this hurdle first, man. Got to do it. Got to climb this mountain.
To the chat, what should I buy? Tell me what I should buy. I got 5 kids. I don't want all of them to have Cyberfrog toys. Most of them would ruin it. But but I've got a shelf. Look at this. We got a shelf behind me over here.
Get one of everything. Get the one of everything tier. And if your kids want one of the frogs, give them one of the frogs, and then put the other ones on the shelf.
It's in the fate of the chat. So there's the one of everything. There's individual figures. There's the Vizbiz. There's the 2 sets. That sounds painful. 2 sets of 4 plus the Heathers as add-ons. We've got... hold on. Pastor Flash says, please play Ethan's Don't Come clip.
All right. I'll put that up, and you can choose to play that if you want to. That's
I've seen it. It's brilliant. It's wonderful. Here, I'll share your stream.
Don't you love it when they say,
Do not come.
oh, I'm going to come.
The president and I don't want to come.
I'm going to come.
Do not come.
Oh, I'm going to come.
Do not come. Do not come.
Oh, I'm going to come.
Do not come.
Oh, I'm going to come. I'm going to come.
I love the Ritz cracker hat at the end. It's just a guy putting on lipstick. Sure. Absolutely. I miss him. What a great president he was. It's so boring without Trump in the White House. We got to get him back.
Why would you want the current guy? He's so bored. He's just pointless. He's like the grits there. Cream of wheat.
They just don't want Trump in there. That's all. They put anyone they could in there just to get this man out. But I'm telling you, the more he's gone, the more I miss him. And I definitely want to vote him back into office if I can. That's where my vote is going. I'm not saying we're going to win. That's where my vote is going in 2024, no matter what, no matter who's running. Trump.
Let's see, I got to put in all this damn information for these credit cards and everything. Oh my gosh.
Why is it hard? Like, don't you have an Indiegogo campaign in which you support dozens of Indiegogo Comicscape projects? You just have to hit a button.
Literally buy everything as a guest.
I can do it so quick now. I've supported probably 200 or 300 campaigns. I think it's my job to do that. So all I really have to do is just hit a couple of buttons to back someone's campaign now. It's pretty easy.
How does Google not have the state I'm in? What else?
They don't have the state you're in? All right, hold on. Let me give you another I'm going to give you another video to play.
I'm trying to buy this. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to make a purchase here. No, it's great. I got it. It was my fault.
Here's a Cyberfrog ad that you could play right now, and people will like this.
My contribution ID is number 2289. Oh, here we go. Well, it's not up yet, though.
Yes, it is.
I don't see it. It's up on the screen. It's just not on my screen. Okay, I'll watch it over here.
Everybody in the audience, now listen to me carefully, is being given a special package, and I don't want you to open it. Do not open it. Cameras are on you, so do not open it until I tell you. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
Head. 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 Head.
Do not come.
Do not come. I can't believe you're out here poaching Bad Boy Bill on my stream.
You will get these hands.
Take care of those hands. Take your place.
I got hands. I'm gonna go control.
That's right. All caps toys, everyone. All caps toys. We're doing it together. Back Cyberfrog. Back the Cyberfrog campaign right now. Get free head.
That's Alice DJ. That sounds like a Bad Boy Bill track to me. I don't know.
Get some hands. Do it. Yeah. We got good ads. You know, we got I'm very Trumpian. We've got the very best people making the very best ads.
Whoa, I can control your screen?
Yeah.
Why can I control your screen? That's weird.
It's yours. I figured out, hold on, I'm removing it. So I figured out when you're using StreamYards, you hit the share button and then you can add videos. Other people can bring in videos for you to use. You get control of the videos. Just discovered that.
That's amazing. I did not know. This is such a cool, stupid website.
I do like StreamYards. I'm happier with it. We used to use Google Hangouts. It sucked balls compared to this, you know. Google Hangouts, anybody could just come on in whenever they wanted to. Here, you can gatekeep them. I like the gatekeeping.
Yeah, the gatekeeping is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I did back your little campaign or whatever.
You did. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, pull it up. Let's see where we're at. Let's see where we went. We were at 382 before. Oh, thank you, Nick.
We're at here we go. I'll pull it up. I decided to get my kids a set. So we're 383 039. I'm at the mercy of the chat. They said buy 2 and then you add 2 variant Heathers. I forgot to get them autographed.
I'll sign them for you. Thank you so much. That is gigantic. We're now only $17,000 away from getting funded. I've got 2 days to do it. I'm way better. I thought I was going to get it to 380 tomorrow, and then we'd have a sprint, a $20,000 sprint in the last 24 hours. But thank you, Nick, and thank you everybody in the chat. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your support. Thank you for the moral support and reading that lawsuit filing.
Yeah, and guys, like legitimately, this is something I've been talking about since 2019 specifically. When I started my escapism crusade, I started it then at Anime Matsuri, and I have continued it at every convention I've gone to that has given me a panel. Bubba Fest said they were going to give me a panel, and then I got there, and they're like, I guess. And I'm like, why wouldn't you have me do a panel? I do great panels. I give wonderful panel, the best panel you've ever had. You've never been to a panel like this. Well, you're going to go to that guy's panel? Have you seen that guy? Can't even get through a sentence. He's bumbling around, stumbling. He's got a green screen with helicopters. I don't use green screen. Only legitimate helicopters. Every convention that has given me a panel room, I do some variant of this panel. It's the idea that your escapism is yours. It's for the fans. It's not about anybody else out there. It's not the creators. Conventions aren't for creators. Conventions aren't for voice actors or comic book artists or the vendors. They're literally, it's you. Everybody there is a service industry. They're all serving you. All of them are begging you to buy their thing, to engage in their product and what they do for you, though, not for them. Not for them. And so this is one thing I love to see. I've wanted us as the counterculture to break into these things. I loved seeing it in comics. I love seeing indie video games. I love that somebody out there has got the following to make action figures.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do something after this too. Let's just keep it going.
Yes. It's next, like you said, you're tackling animations. Let's start making shows. Let's start making movies. And these things require more and more production, more and more people. But you can't get there if people aren't willing to take the incremental steps. You've got to build these industries. Remember, Hasbro has been around for what, 70 years?
Yeah.
Like they've been making, and they started making little shit things, and now they make a lot of little shit things. Like they peaked in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, and they made cool stuff, and then they dropped. Look at Lego now. Everything Lego makes, and by the way, Lego makes phenomenal quality products, but everything's just licensed. What happened to the Lego that I loved in the 90s, where they were making their own stuff? They had some asshole. He's like, no, I got to come up with something. I know. Space magnets. Magnet force. Yeah. Yeah, we got spaceships and they're magnetic. And we're going to sell magnets, little cheap magnets and things. That's great. And then I want to make another Lego set. Space
Castles,
ice?
medieval castles. Let's just
Medieval
do all
castles.
These. That was a great Lego line. In the 80s, they had like space, medieval. They had pirates. That shit was rad.
They had a frozen space planet, and all of the spaceships had skis on them. And I loved them. I don't know why, as a kid, I'm like, this is cool. Why do they have skis? Doesn't make sense. They're in space.
Yeah.
But now everything's just, oh, it's Star Wars. Oh, it's whatever. It's licensed. The cost tripled, and everything's like it all over the place. Everything is just shit. We got to make our own stuff, because even if you buy the licensed stuff, you're like, I love Star Wars today. Then boom, 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 The Force Awakens comes out, and you're like, oh my God, I can never give them another dollar. Like I can't
take that money. Stop supporting Disney. Stop supporting Warner Brothers. Stop Marvel, DC. Stop giving your money to these people. They hate you. I mean, if you have principles outside of like far left radical progressivism, they hate you. Take that money, put it into an Indiegogo campaign for a Comicscape book. I beg of you, put it into these toys. Put it into somebody else's toys. Give somebody who has a dream, who is not owned by an enormous corporation, who is not constantly virtue signaling for values that you do not hold while calling you a Nazi. Give that person a chance. And that's what Comicsgate is. I love it. I'm grateful that we have so many people who are a part of it, so many people who are supporters, and so many people who want to try it themselves. It's a miracle.
All right. Let's, I couldn't have said it better. Let's do super chats. We'll check on the campaign one more time at the end. If that's, you're cool to stay through super chats. I hope.
Of course. Yeah. Maybe one of them is about me.
Babolsky says, make Ethan draw something with his foot again. Maybe Sonichu.
I'm not the best foot artist. I did try that. It wasn't great.
You've got to do an entire Sonichu comic with your foot. You're like the Daniel Day-Lewis of comicery.
I don't.
Shagaval says, autocorrect mess. God is a that likes hot meat. I think autocorrect got him again. A thought. Yep, he did. Get grifted by autocorrect, jackass. He had to send 3 super chats to say this one funny one because autocorrect kept screwing him over. Oh, it makes me happy. Ulash1 says, did you hear Thea White, the VA for Muriel Encourage the Cowardly Dog, died? I did not. Solid Redfield says the dimensional merge is still no match for DSP. Look, DSP will outlive everybody and everything on this planet. Persona non grata says, how have the last few days been? Better journalism than Tim Pool, Lamau. That's Ethan Ralph screaming, how the last few days been?
I'm sorry. I like him. I like Ethan Ralph. He's funny.
It sounds like every one of my relatives when I show up at a family reunion. Hi there, Nick. How the last few days been? I haven't seen you in 2 years. Fatal system error. Welcome to super lawyer status. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Jackson Kai, that was my sound effect. Jackson Kai says, found 13 Sonichu comics on Amazon just now. Volume 0 to 12. $10 for paperback and $2 for Kindle. There you go, Ethan.
Wow.
Shakaval says, to be fair, lots of deities had familial relations. They did. That's true. And Christian is God of Quickville. So something to think about. Bald Giant says, EVS, look up Geno Samuel 2.1. He has the full documentary on how Christian became Christian. It's something like 60 episodes.
I'll watch it starting tonight.
Walter Deadman says, watch George Floyd style riots break out for Christian and thus usher in the blood god Sonichu. Hashtag the merge is happening. Jonathan Ferrier says, Ethan, Ralph's long sleeve shirt is the one Christian has on in those pictures. Meta. That's true. Anonymous says, I bought 2 Heather Swain dolls. I'm going to sculpt and paint them to look like Christian and Barb, and no one can stop me. That's so fucking horrible. Malik Foxon says, looking good at that haircut, fam. Welcome to August, and thanks for yet another Sunday stream. Phoenix Lord Asserman says, Ralph shaking his pig hoof at Josh in impotent rage will never stop being funny to me. Ralph is more pathetic than Maddox at this point. Damn. See, some hate for Ralph. Hopefully we get some Josh hate in here too. I love when they clash. It's my favorite. Mercenary X says, so how badly do you think the fans of 40K should exterminatus Games Workshop? Text to speech and pretty much every fan fiction writer has given up. Games Workshop is asking for God's karma to kill them over their evil, burn them and their Hasbro CEO with legal suits. So are you familiar with this? What's going on?
Mm-mm.
Games Workshop owns Warhammer 40K, right?
Mm-hmm.
They did this thing. They've got GW Plus, a streaming service coming out, and they bought out a couple of like YouTube fan animators, like the guy who did the Astartes fan animation, which is really, really good. They bought them and they brought them into the thing, but then they basically told everybody else who's doing fan animations of Space Marines that they're going to get copyright claims if they don't shut it all down. Which to me seems like about the stupidest decision you could possibly do.
That sucks.
Like, I don't know. People do fan art of Cyberfrog, and I've seen fan art of Heather, right?
Yeah. That's, you want that to happen.
That's
yes.
good.
It's a good thing.
That means people are engaging, and then they're potentially, like, every one of those fan arts they create and share, that's potentially reaching a new audience, like somebody else, and they go, oh, what's this? I like the look of this. It's very, very stupid, in my opinion, what they're doing. I can't believe that they're this fucking dumb. Mercenary X says, as for Chris Chan's dimensional merge, I fear it may be real, but not in the way he hopes. It is more in line to God's plan, how it will troll us. God will make the furries real and the waifus will rule us. It will be better because they will burn Games Workshop. Destin says, do you think Christian will be housed with females or males in prison / psychiatric facilities, given he may have oddball sexual charges? I don't know. I'll have to look. I'll try and find out how Virginia does that, how they deal with gender identity, but he's pre-op. I think they might put him in with men.
Good.
I don't know that he even has any intention of getting the chop either. So I think they put him with men. Mercenary X says Muppet Babies in the 80s was good. This one with Gonzo, it's crap like this that makes me sympathize with the people who want to ban LGBT and criminalize it. The slippery slope was correct. Remember the gay choir singing about our kids. I have not watched the gay choir video.
Dude, it's infuriating. Seriously, when you see it, you're going to be angry. And I didn't know because I'm gay rights, sure. I saw that video and I was like, fuck all of you. Fuck all of you. It was really bad.
I've only heard about it. Like I've never suffered through it. Maybe I'll have to do that.
You should do it just to be aware of it.
Crusader Saracen says EVS giving us literary analysis of He-Man through a gender studies lens is not something I knew I needed. Great stream, Nick. Hope to see you on more, Ethan. You're always great to see. God be with both of you gentlemen.
I'm glad to be here. It's a pleasure.
Thread Clown says all Muppets are caricatures of mental illness and neuroses. Gonzo is non-binary thinking emoji. That is pretty funny. It's like,
it's a good point.
Surprise, motherfucker. Sent $2. It doesn't say anything else. Mercenary X says the problem with is the shareholders, specifically those like BlackRock and other investment corps. They've got everyone by the balls and they're pushing an agenda. Any word on the Vic case? Nope, because I haven't been keeping up because I've been trying to stay alive. No, the Vic case, if we get an update, it'll be on a Thursday. And there's nothing. There's no way to predict it. There's no one who can enforce the rules of the appeals court on themselves. So sorry. Walter Deadman says, wait, I read that one. Not applicable says, hey, you lose some weight, Ethan. Looking good, bud. Hey, there you go. So you said you were working on it, so it's showing.
Yeah, here comes the counterpunch, though. I know better than this.
They don't say anything. It just says looking good, bud.
Oh, thanks.
Babalski says, Ethan Suppley is fit now. Suppley is fit now, you frog fucker. Ethan Suppley is fit now, you frog fucker.
Because I said he was another fat Ethan, and they said, no, he's fit now, you fat frog fucker.
They didn't say fat.
I just threw that in there. Yeah.
Patrick says, Nick, did you see the motion to quash the pro bono law Twitter dorks filed against Chris Avalone's suit? Oh, God. Did a law Twitter lawyer take up Chris Avalone's a case against Chris Avalone? No one told me that. They're just like, oh, you gotta look at the motion to quash. I didn't know that was real. Oh, fucking hell. I know.
Tomorrow's show.
No, tomorrow I've got Nerdrotic on. So, but this week for sure. It's pretty hilarious and demonstrates law Twitter's professionalism. They don't have none. As much as law Twitter likes to say, oh, Nick doesn't practice. He just shit posts on YouTube. None of them have ever practiced, and not because they're shit posting on YouTube. They don't practice because they're just bad at being people. Why would anyone work with them? Would you ever hire Mike Dunford? He'd be like, hello, I'm Mike Dunford. I do copyright law. Would you hire me? No one else did. Literally no one has ever hired that man to do anything. He relies on his army wife. Ooh, God. Hop Crop says, since EVS is here, I might as well show my comic. High Treason League is available on Indie Planet and Comixology. Great for manga fans. There you go, guys. Check out High Treason League. Shadows King 101 says, I got my Cyber Frog warts and all in the mail yesterday. UPS beat the shit out of the box, but it's a fantastic book. Hey, when am I going to get my Blood Honey box set that I bought? When is that?
You mean your Wreck Planet?
Wreck Planet, yeah.
Wreck Planet. Still working on it. On the comic.
I saw someone get something in the mail, and I was like, I'm jealous. I want my thing in the mail.
We're shipping the Warts and All campaign right now. It's a beautiful hardcover edition of all of the stuff from the 1990s. So people are getting that.
Okay. Damn it. Loreddit Silver member says, Ethan, your breakdown of the hidden meaning behind He-Man was the funniest thing I've watched all week. Shakaval says, Miss Piggy was also a domestic abuser.
Mm-hmm.
Get pegged, Kermie. No. Ow. Stop it. Use lube.
Not applicable says, Henson was a communist lunatic. Damn. Guns blazing on Jim Henson. Ascended Not So Handsome Jack says, can we get the He-Man and strippers of the universe? That'd be good.
I'll go there. I'll go to that club.
Kurenai 69. Well, actually, like I'll go there with old Tila. But I've seen new Tila and I want nothing to do with that. That's a man, baby. Yeah. Her thighs are bigger than my body. Horrifying. Kurenai 6942 says Dolph Lundgren is the greatest He-Man and Kirstie Alley is a hot 19-year-old Evil Lynn. Danny Grimm says Oracle is a diversity hire. Biden the Cold One, welcome to Paralegal Status. Joel Reese says, Ethan, don't accept any kind of Fanta from Nick. What's wrong with Fanta? Do you drink Fanta?
Soda? No, I don't really drink Fanta. No, I don't drink soda.
If someone gave you a creamy orange Fanta, would you drink it? Like it's a one-off. Like not that you'd have to drink it all the time, but like, hey, you look
Will you try
thirsty.
this? Yeah, like, is it like, hey, try this and see if it's poison or good? Or is that the question?
Yeah. Would you have? Okay, good. That's all we need. Matt Deckard says, but can it talk?
The frog toy? No, it can't. Not yet. We'll get there.
Guns Down in Hale says you should send a Cyber Frog to Jobby the Hong to review. He is the best toy reviewer and funny as hell. I don't know who Jobby the Hong is. Never even heard of that guy. CPS Lock 3 says, Ethan, any plans on making frog transformers?
No plans. Everybody's mad at me for saying. Everybody's like, no, don't drink that soda. Okay, I take it back. I'm not gonna.
No, you already said you drink the creamy Fanta.
I'm not. I changed my mind, and I haven't. It's in my hand, but I haven't drunk it yet. I'm just looking at it. Now I do this with it. You know, I throw it across the room.
You gonna get that on your walls?
No, I'll throw like over there.
Do you want to know the lore behind this? Should I ruin your day?
Spoil it.
Chris Chan is a fan of recycling. A fan of recycling white power. And apparently into Fanta. Fanta is the preferred diluent to the recycling.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Are you serious?
Yeah. Fanta and ice
Thank
cubes.
you, chat. Thank you, chat. I owe you. Thank you.
I pushed you in front of the train. The chat pulled you away. I said to the chat, I looked at the chat, they said no, and I said no. I'm holding it, but I do this to it like this. So I didn't drink it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Amateur Ant says I'm going back to this when it gets to 399,800. Okay. Eldon Bainling says they're gonna come. EVS do not come. Snake Eyes says ask EVS about the tongue head.
Yeah, I'm making a Cyber Frog. I'm working on it right now. There's going to be a bonus head. So you see, you get your Cyber Frog toy. The head comes off. You can replace it. I'm making one with his mouth open and a stretchy tongue coming out so that you can.
Yeah, you mentioned that before, so you can wrap it around things.
Yes. Yeah, I'm working on that now.
It sounds like. Now, I'm not going to make the obvious joke.
It doesn't vibrate, Nick.
I don't want it to. You know what? Because Cecil got that fucking vibrating wrestler.
I hate that shit.
And he keeps putting it on his damn Yeti mic.
Oh.
Look at this cheap ass Cecil with a Yeti mic. He's like,
yeah, it's awful.
I'm going to fly to New York and kill him sometime when he
Please. Please.
Andrew War Snowboard says, is there a backing tier where the bees also come with birds?
No.
Okay, no. Asia Frazier says bees are mostly female. The drone's male's job is only to breed, and their climax usually causes them to explode, so they die after the mating flight. Sounds like a bunch of incels. Cars in Depth says we need to invite Russell Greer, Chris Chan, Jay Hefner, Skippy, and Preston Poulter to do a panel together for the Fans Fest. DA Talk says to whoever first reported on Preston's trademark schemes breadcrumbs, you're an awesome guy.
Sounds like DA Talks did that.
Jackson Kai says, as someone who had to deal with common law trademark issues ending with them physically stealing the sign off our building, register your trademarks. Robert Romano says Ethan's mark dates to June 2018. He acquired Antonio's fully registered mark April. Preston has been infringing on Comicsgate the whole time. Sheila Alien says F Peggy Sue. Adam D says Ethan is Scarface, as in scarfing down pie, but not for a month. You've gone a month without pie?
Yeah. Or donuts, anything like that. Nothing like that.
See, here's my problem. I went to Texas, and in Texas, I eat donuts. I just have to, because I don't get them in. They don't have them in Minnesota. Like they have something that they call donuts, but it's not the same. And I don't live in a city. So in Houston, you can actually Uber donuts to you. which is amazing. That's my favorite thing on the planet. If I could Uber donuts to me every day, I would be £1 million. Thor Odinson says Netflix's Castlevania costs about $300,000 per episode. What you made off Wrecked Planet could fund a 4-episode miniseries of equal quality, if not better. I think you could. I think I think you could do it more efficiently than Netflix could, though.
Yeah, probably. And how long is an episode? Because I could make 8-minute episodes.
Yeah, there's the standard 22, 24, something like that.
Yeah, I would just make shorts. I would make 30 minutes total and break it down into 4 parts.
Yeah, but they those guys, like the way Netflix did Castlevania. I mean, you're talking hiring union voice talent, which isn't that expensive. You're going to spend a lot of money on the ADR direction. You're going to spend a lot of money on the post-production sound stuff. Really expensive animation that's done by trade animators. I don't know. I think people doing a labor of love could do it a lot cheaper.
Vic Mignogna, voice of Salamandroid.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
We would only use people who were canceled. Gina Carano as Heather Swain. She's already interested. We could do it that way, and it would be fun. It would be meaningful, which is what I want.
I know a lawyer who does voices. His name is Kevin Landau. Downshift says we're done for. Might as well change the name to Complaint Gate. Fix this now. Eldon Bainling says I'm getting nose job in copywriting Ricada Law. Jackson Kai says sorry, Nick. Ethan stole your super chat money. Had to support a toy that my nephew will likely steal in some comic books. Lol. He didn't though. You sent the super chat to say that. Maybe you would have sent more, but I don't bring people on here so that I get a bunch of super chat money. I bring people on to, talk about their stuff. I want independent creation supported. That's legitimately, it's one of my things that I want to happen in this world. So I'm glad. I want people to back these toys. If I didn't want people to back the toys, I wouldn't have brought Ethan on and I wouldn't have bought them. I would have said, don't back this. That's what that would have been it. Barb Rogers, Little Miss Sunburn says Chris Williams is onto something. He's severely underrated. I love that guy. Back Scum Dogs. I don't know who Chris Williams is. I don't follow. That's the one thing about being a creator. I don't have time to consume a ton of content. And so I miss a bunch. Makes me sad. SeedFan85 says, if you wanted to, you could develop an alternative weapon set and put that up as another perk. One step at a time, guys. Barb Rogers, Little Miss Sunburn says, fuck you, I'm going to come. Jackson Kai says, in the words of Chuck Schumer, Donald Trump incited the erection. ASO says, Scuffed Legos, a.k.a. Mega Blocks, has better sets. They have Halo, I think. Forge says, EVS, have you seen Kyle Dunnigan's new He-Man clip?
I keep meaning to watch it. I'm going to. I love Kyle Dunnigan.
Did you watch did you watch any of the new Masters of the Universe?
No, I'm not going to.
No?
No, I just don't believe in it. I honestly, when I said do not support people who are deliberately trying to provoke me, I mean that. That He-Man cartoon was made to provoke me, to insult me personally, and anybody who grew up in the 80s, anybody who actually thinks these properties are important for kids to see. It was meant to say, fuck you. And I'm not going to be told, fuck you. I'm just not by Kevin Smith anyway. So I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to support it. And I'm getting very close to canceling Netflix. This Cuties was strike 1 and 2. He-Man is half of a strike. Just give me one more half of a strike and I'm canceling Netflix.
You got to get on my level.
You already did?
I can't cancel Netflix.
Oh, you never had it.
I'm on my dad's Netflix.
No.
My parents have Netflix and they're like, they created a profile for like the kids and stuff. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So anything I watch, but I haven't watched a second of He-Man and I won't. Like, I don't care. I get the updates. I don't have time anymore. I don't have time for people who hate me.
YouTube is great. YouTube is full of people who hate me, but it's also full of people who love me. So I'm going to watch things on YouTube. And my Netflix money, which is like $14.99 a month, 2 months of that can buy me a comic book. It can buy me a copy of Godlike by John Malin. So I'm going to cancel it. I'm going to pour that money into Indiegogo campaigns by comic skaters.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you were saying your daughter likes Muppet Babies or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have tried to get my kids into various TV shows. I tried to get them into stuff that I liked as a kid. I'm like, oh, Animaniacs was released on Disney Plus, another thing that I don't pay for, which is great. My parents have Disney Plus. So Animaniacs comes out and it's like, oh, cool. The kids are going to love Animaniacs because I watched this all the time. It's very funny. They hated it.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
And I'm not talking about the new one. I'm talking about the old Animaniacs
stuff.
even. My kids, you know what they watch? They watch Minecraft streamers. They watch people making weird fucking music videos for their indie games projects. Like that's what they watch. And I'm like, why would I interfere with this though? My kids embrace independent creators, indie creators. That's all they do. And I thought about it and I'm like, I barely watch any TV at all.
Yeah.
It's all indie stuff. I've been watching some jackass named Chris Super Bomb Jumbo play Bloons TD6. Bloons, a mobile game. This man is playing a mobile game, and I'm watching YouTube videos of this. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, when is the bullet going through the back of my head? Because why am I doing it? But I don't know. Something about it.
It's compelling.
That's YouTube. That's independent creation. There is a market for everything. It's crazy. Rule 34 talks about there's a porn for everything, but the real rule is like rule 1 of the internet, that there is a market for literally any content. Yeah.
And I tried to get my daughter to watch Looney Tunes, classic Bugs Bunny cartoons, and I thought every kid would like that. They're so bored by that shit. They
hate it now. It's a completely different style of entertainment. And we don't understand it. Our parents don't understand it. But the kids do. And the fact to me, this is what gets me, that Warner Brothers, Marvel, and Disney don't get that they haven't figured that out, that kids watching content on YouTube are making connections with these creators and establishing trust rather than making connections with brands, faceless brands, and establishing trust. They're establishing trust with people. And the fact that Disney can't figure out how to do that, and because they're still stuck in their old model, and they're like, no, this model still makes money. It's like, yeah, but it's not going to. The only reason that still makes money is because the people who are 20 to 40 have all been doing that their whole lives. But the kids who are 10, 15, none of them watch any.
Whole generation raised on reality TV. Do you remember when reality TV took over and scripted TV just ceased to exist?
Yeah.
I mean, there were no more sitcoms.
There were no music videos. MTV was the first victim of reality TV. There was literally, you could turn on MTV any given minute of the day, you would never find a music video. It's like, this is music television. There's no music.
Some fucking reality TV that's over edited, but it was still so good compared to what we were used to. That led to this. That inevitably led to YouTube culture, people just watching independent creators.
That's what kills me about these like reboots. Oh, we're going to give Kevin Smith He-Man. You don't even understand. If Kevin Smith isn't making He-Man for 35-year-old men who watched He-Man, then Kevin Smith might as well not make it. Because if you're making it for the new woke 18-year-olds who are out there, they don't want to watch it. If you're making it for 12-year-olds, they don't want to watch. It's not about the wokeness. They just don't give a shit about that type of entertainment anymore. So like, what are you doing if you're going to reboot a beloved series like this Ghostbusters stuff? Why isn't Ghostbusters just Bill Murray being the last Ghostbuster, sitting there with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth? Ray's dead. Egon's dead. Winston's in jail because that'd be racist. And he's just sitting there going, fuck. Venkman here. Last line of defense for the entire planet. I would watch that movie 100 times. That's That sounds great. I don't want family Ghostbusters. I don't want women Ghostbusters. I don't want blank Ghostbusters. If you're going to make Ghostbusters, make it Ghostbusters. If you're going to make He-Man, make it He-Man. Don't make it Tila. It's fine. If you want to make a Tila show, just call it Tila.
Hi, Tila. There we go.
But none of these, it's blowing my mind. I'm like, how do you not know? Because none of these studio execs have kids, maybe they just got all their kids from Epstein, so they don't have their own.
Oh, shit.
Okay, here we go. Damn it. Let's see. Fed Raham Lincoln says Nick voicing a Cyberfrog toy ad as Trump, telling us how they are the greatest toys ever would be hilarious. Would that ever be possible? Yeah, that'd be easy. Eldon Bainling says, Uncle E, is everything okay between you and Flash?
Yes, I think so. Yesterday, Yellow Flash booted me from his stream.
Look, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. You come in, you're like, hey, Flash, blah, blah, blah.
I came in yelling at him. Well, the whole thing was, there was a misunderstanding. So I guess John Malin was supposed to launch on Yellow Flash's stream. He's supposed to launch Godlike. But John Malin always told me he was going to launch on my stream, and I didn't know Yellow Flash was even streaming. So I started a stream, said, hey, John, come in here. Let's launch Godlike. He said, okay. And then I heard that Yellow Flash was mad. I saw that he left the DM room in a huff. He just said, message received. Yellow Flash left. And I didn't see it said Yellow Flash. I said, yeah, there was no message. No, don't take this the wrong way. But he was already gone. So
I could see how that kind of miscommunication could ruffle some feathers, though.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Yeah,
of course. But it wasn't intentional. You know, it was just, it's the way things went. And his stream was already going in a certain direction. And, you know, John was launching Godlike, something he'd been working on for a year and a half. And it was very, very important to him. So, you know, anyway, he ended up being on my stream. And really what I wanted to do was call Flash a knucklehead, but apologize to him. So you don't have to leave like that. You do this all the time. Like, just wait for somebody to say, hey, man, you know, sorry for the ruffle feathers. But Yellow Flash, yes, he did not hear the message, and he booted me from his live stream, which was like,
it was the funniest possible.
One of us is joking, and one of us is really fucking pissed off. So
he was so drunk. He was so drunk. I was dying. I was like,
tell him to stop. I mean, this is the thing. Yellow Flash, you know, I love that guy. I have nothing, you know, but respect for him. He's been around in this orbit in Comicsgate, doing this kind of stuff, getting better and better at it. Always loved them. It didn't mean to ruffle any feathers, you know, not at all. You know, we can talk. We don't have to, you know, that's the whole thing.
I wouldn't change a minute of it because it was so funny when he kicked you off. I was dying.
I could not believe it. I was like, whoa, this guy's actually angry. Okay. So it is what it is.
Shadow Fenrir 24 says, is Warts and All still available?
Well, it's going to be. This week, we're going to put it up on our eBay store. So I just have to finish fulfilling it. We've got 800 more packages to go out. We're almost done, and then it's going right up on eBay. You'll be able to get it.
Sam Pack says, Ethan loves pie, but does he love refrigerators? I love refrigerators.
Oh, I don't know the reference.
It's just... Flash plays it in the intro to all of his shows. It's this Asian guy who's like he owns like an appliance store. And there's like this 7-minute long ad, supercut of ads that he's done where he's like, microwaves are beautiful, you know, and he opens like the microwave room, but he comes up and he walks down this long ass line of refrigerators, and it takes like 20 seconds of the 30-second ad. And he gets there and he's like half winded. He puts his hand on, I love refrigerators. And that's the end of it. It's like, yeah, you wasted
I love them too.
All of it.
Yeah, love them too.
Quality Fan Dub says, just tuned in to two of my favorite people. Keep being awesome fathers, entertainers, creatives, and role models, inspirational. You keep me going on my Eden Spell graphic novel. We're 5 years in. Love and respect. Hail Nick and Uncle E. Damn, 5 years. Awesome. Keep going. Sleeper 789 says, I canceled my Netflix sub 2 years ago. My only regret is that I can't cancel it again whenever they pull something stupid like the new He-Man series. Eldon Bailing says, great stream. Praise the Sun and Nick. And I think we've got like just a very few more. Let's see. Mercenary X says, also, here's some money for you since I'm not going to be able to buy my graphics cards I want here in California since they've banned them. I'm forced to play on a laptop and I'll never be able to finish my water-cooled dual graphics card PC because Bitcoin. Wait, I thought you could buy individual components still, just not fully assembled machines. Check into that. Check into that. I think you can do it. If not, Mercenary, ship it to my house. I'll mail it to you. Crusader Zarison says, Ethan Van Sciver has the right idea. Don't give money to people who hate you. As an addendum, don't give them attention. We already know it sucks. They don't care. All they care about is the attention and YouTube outrage farming. They feature apathy, not anger. You know what? I mildly disagree with that, though. Because Kevin Smith, you could watch him go through the phases of regret in real time. That was my favorite part of what was happening with He-Man, was he went through all of the phases. Like, he was first in denial. He's like, no, He-Man's actually good. You guys suck. And then, then he went through and he says, he goes into like listening and bargaining. He did a live stream where people could come in and tell them why they hated He-Man to his face on his show. He didn't get any traction. This is Kevin Smith, and he had like less audience than like you or I get, which is embarrassing. He does that, and people go and they tell him that what the fuck, He-Man sucks. They're telling him He-Man is garbage, and then
they tricked
and
him.
then he goes into acceptance, and he says, no. Look, if you don't understand that He-Man is woke, He-Man has always been woke.
Oh, shit. Shut the fuck up. No, it hasn't.
There's always been women in it, Ethan.
That's
therefore
woke, the existence of women. Yeah.
Since women are in the new one, it's the same level, right? Like that. That's his argument.
Fuck off. And the thing about him is he got tricked, and he feels bad now. A bunch of radicals got his geek cred. They saw him on the ground. He hasn't been able to do anything for a long time. And they wanted to cancel. They wanted to fuck up He-Man. They wanted to make it, woke. They wanted to aggravate the fans. And they wanted to be provocative. And they used Kevin Smith. They got him. They said, we'll give you a paycheck to do it this way. Yeah. And they used up the last bit of his geek cred. He didn't realize that he was being bamboozled here. He turned the fans against him. The only people who are saying that they liked it are lying. They're also activists. And he's going to suffer for this. He just is. He has lost it now. Nobody will trust him ever again.
Here's how you know this entire thing was coordinated, by the way. It was less than 48 hours after the He-Man release. The trade publications announced Clerks 3. Kevin Smith didn't announce Clerks 3, but the trade publications all announced Clerks 3. Kevin Smith reimagining Clerks. Like they all thought that they're like, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be what everybody wants. Kevin's going to do this. He's going to do He-Man. It's going to draw a ton of attention to him. And then he's going to launch Clerks. He hasn't really put out any good, like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is really fucking weird. No one kind of watched it. He hasn't put out anything good since Dogma.
Can you imagine how lame Clerks 3 would be with new Kevin Smith, new PC slave Kevin Smith doing Clerks 3? Fuck off.
Clerks 3 is supposed to be basically a self-insert of the character in Clerks that Kevin plays, creating Clerks 1 as a movie. So my theory, and I think that I hope they do this. I hope they do this just because I want to be right, is that he'll write Clerks, that Clerks 3 will be him like directing through Clerks 1. It'll be like very meta, but Clerks will all be cast by women. It'll be the Clerks movie, but gender reversed.
Oh boy.
if they do that, the chat owes me $1 billion because if I called that, I win. But no, they thought, they're like, yeah, he's going to do He-Man. He's going to get a bunch of nerd cred spread out. And then he's going to release announce Clerks 3, going to build hype. And now everybody's like, no one wants to see you do Clerks 3. You're ruining everything you touch.
You're not
Fuck
the same
off.
guy anymore. The whole thing about Kevin Smith was that he was a nerd. He was a geek, but he was super crude and un-PC. He was very Jersey and sloppy. And he was kind of a little bit of a bruiser. Like now he's a woman. He's a fucking castrated woman, old woman sitting there crying over the outtakes from the Flash CW TV show.
How often have you cried in public?
In public, never. I cried over the birth of both of my children. I think I cried at my wedding. A little weepy.
The last time I can remember being in public and even coming close, I choked up telling a story about my grandma at her funeral.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's after the funeral. We're at the little reception and everybody gets a chance to talk. I get to tell this story about how my 75-year-old grandma with a fused spine and fake hips and fake knees. So my mom's kind of weird. And she was really good at broad jump as a kid. Right. Like back and so I'm in Austin, Texas. And, they have this thing where the bats come out at night under this big ass bridge in Austin.
Oh, yeah.
There's like 1 million bats. So they all fly out and they're just flying out constantly. So my sibling had lived in Austin at the time. So I'm down there visiting my sibling. I'm with my mom and, my mom's like, there's this big ass path. It's like 6 feet wide. My mom's like, I used to be really good at broad jump. So she broad jumps across the path. I'm like, Mom, stop this. I'm like, what are you doing? We all know that you were good at broad jump in high school. Jumping 6 feet isn't all that impressive. So then my sibling does it. And then my niece jumps like across the path. And then we're all like, look at how good people are at broad jump. And we're walking away. And while we're not paying attention, my grandma, who's got like a cane, goes up to the path, this concrete path, and she goes to broad jump across it. And she lands and she immediately falls. And like, this is like, people this age, when they fall, they die from it. And we're like, what the hell are you doing? But, that was my grandmother. Like, she's just like, age was never a thing to her. And it never even occurred to her. She literally has one vertebrae unfused in her spine at this point. Both of her hips are fake. Both of her knees are fake. And still she goes up and she does a broad jump. And so I share this little memory and I kind of got choked up while talking about it. And I can't imagine crying anywhere near. And this is at the funeral of my dead grandmother. And I'm like, I would never cry here. And if I were about to cry, I would leave. Kevin Smith's
at the trailer of the 9th Star Wars movie, he's crying. He's weeping like that openly.
It's like, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? Are you just mainlining estrogen? Why are you crying? Get out. What the hell is wrong with these people?
Your grandma's like, it's a broad jump. I'm an old broad. It's for me.
Literally her. She was so funny. Oh my God. She just, my uncle said it best. So my grandparents, both of them were very, very blessed. Like literally they went to the Vatican and both of them got blessed by Pope Ratzenberger, the previous Pope, right? They both got blessed in person by him. They were members of this like Royal Order of Vatican Knights or something. I don't know. They're weird old Catholics. They got to meet all kinds of people in their lives. My uncle is telling, this is his speech. And this choked me up a little bit too when he told it. He said, all of these people got to meet my mom. Most people would have said, all of these people, my mom got to meet all of these people. My mom got to meet Kevin Sorbo. My mom got to meet Ronald Reagan. No, they all got to meet her because that's who she was. And it's really true about her. Like she was just this little beacon and very magnetic. And that was her personality. And so it was great. It was great. She was a cool lady, but yeah, here I am. I'll talk about this all day. You know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to cry.
What's it going to take to get you to cry out of happiness? What's it going to take?
Out of happiness?
Joy.
Oh my God.
Because for me, I remember like marrying Andrea, and she chose music. She chose an a cappella version of Elvis's "Can't Help Falling in Love," and I went, like
that's
looking at
tough.
her, she looked beautiful, and I a little bit, yeah.
That's tough, man. I don't know. I like you, I cried at the birth of my first son.
Yeah.
That was in a private room. In public today, I don't know what it would take. It would take a lot. I honestly, I have no idea. Like what? I graduated law school. I didn't cry there. I won my first case. I didn't cry there. What do you cry about anymore? Like I have 5 kids. I'm not having any more, so I'm not going to cry about that. I was at
I would cry in the future. Old man Ethan. These will be my final tears. Old man Ethan. He's built up All Caps Comics into a real comic book company. And somebody gives me an award. Somebody like John Malin, who is also an old man. And we've all gotten together. We've made this big company. We look out over a big audience of people with families who are making a living now because in 2018, a bunch of SJWs canceled my entire life from comics and destroyed everything that I was working to build for 20 years. And I look out over an audience of people who I've helped because of that, because I stood up to it and was strong. And John Malin gives me an award. I might, and I'm 75 years old. Yeah, I might cry at that point. That would be wonderful. So that's a fantasy. That's somewhere in the future. That's what I want with, from the rest of my life.
I legitimately, I have no idea. Out of happiness, I don't know. I don't know what would make me cry in public in happiness. My kid gets elected president or something.
That would be great,
right?
Yeah.
Like it'd have to be something massive. Like that'd be the closest thing I'd have to a crying weakness. Something where my kid does something extraordinary. And I expect that they will. Like I expect all my kids will do something extraordinary, and so therefore, like I don't know what they would do to make me cry. It'd have to be monstrous. Out of happiness.
Out of happiness.
Like I could cry out of rage. Like right, like your daughter gets married to some complete asshole. Like crying because I'm gonna have to kill this asshole. I'm going to jail forever. Like maybe that's it. I don't know. I honestly have I have no idea, which I think it's a weird thing, but I also think it's my duty to not cry ever again.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Because so years ago I observed that biblical characters cried quite a bit. That like the showing of emotion was a sign of manliness in the Bible, in the Old Testament specifically. Like they would literally rip the clothes that they're wearing. They would cover themselves in ash. They would do blackface basically, and they would wear a sackcloth. That's pretty extreme, like for their emotional outbursts. But that's Bible times, baby. We're not in Bible times anymore. Now we're in America. And I think that masculinity and testosterone and stoicism is so much more necessary and important from men today that I can't imagine crying in public ever again.
You can't. No, you can't show that kind of weakness right now. You just can't.
No, I think it's our jobs not to. Like to strain, like no matter how much you want to, no matter how tragic the thing is. I'm not saying that guys will never cry, but I think it's our job to resist it as much as possible, to show all these fucking babies running around throwing Molotov cocktails at buildings and throwing bricks at cops or whatever. That no, you shut the fuck up. You sit down. We're men. We're supposed to work. Sometimes life sucks and you get the fuck over that and you do the work you got to do. And I know it sucks because you're 26. Guess what? Everybody on Earth's life sucks at 26. There's nobody who had a good 26.
Holy shit, what a disaster that is. Make me 26 again. Please. Give me another shot at that. Fuck.
But when you were like, you say that now, but when you were 26, wasn't
Sucked.
everything is shit? Like you're working constantly. You're not getting anywhere. No one respects you till you're like 35, 40 years old. No one gives a shit. And so you're out there, you're toiling against the world. You're like, I'm smarter than everybody around me. I'm better than everybody around me at doing this stuff. Like, why won't anybody? But you're 26 though. Like, slow your roll. It'll come with time. And you're like, fuck time. I don't have time. I'm 26. I'm old.
By the time you get into your 40s and things get easier, you're like, I wish I was 20 again. I wish I could go back and, be young again.
You're like, now, make me make me 22 again when I could drink all night. I could sleep for an hour and then work for a week straight without anything. Like, let me do that now. now that I've reached a modicum of success,
young and attractive, and with the wisdom to know how to talk to women, that would be absolutely amazing. Holy shit, I was a dummy at 21. Just give me another shot.
Everybody sucks in their 20s. All you guys in your 20s, you all suck. You know it. And when you're 35, 40 years old, you're going to look back and go, oh my God, I was a piece of shit in my 20s. I wish I was cooler. And but see now, like what they're trying to do is make that, men in your 20s. Like this is what Antifa is built on, right?
Fuck,
like this
waste.
The soy rage boiling over. Guys, what you don't know about boiling over, the froth that boils over the pot goes down into the fire. Don't do it. Be stoic, be men. You suffer in silence, you work through it. And that's what we've always done. Men in their 20s, in the 40s, were dying in war. And they weren't bitching about it that much either. Like we've changed so much, and it's because of these fucking wokies who are telling us that we're entitled to everything. You don't get to be the masters of the universe because at 20 everything was given to you. You work through all the bullshit.
Yep.
Anyway, that's my preaching men shit.
Love it.
All right, couple more. Let's see. Salt says, Ethan, are you going to defend your IP when the Not Starfire sequel, warts and all, is released?
That's not my IP. They can use the phrase warts and all. I could, they're free to use that.
Ryan H says, love this guy as Sully in Monsters, Inc. Fan Advocacy Network says, if Hasbro made action figures of Tila from the new show, they would run out of plastic from those enormous man shoulders. Poorly Redacted says, crying out of happiness, global recognition of the Second Amendment interpreted as intended. Okay. There is something. You're right. Jackson Kai says, I'm pretty sure you are right about Clerks 3. So here's my $5 of your billion. Chat needs $1,428,571,428.58 to pay for Susan's cut. So the YouTube 30%. Thank you. Wolfgang Deo says, you can still drink all night. You need to rest more to regen, get back to your 20s. And I did not suck at 20. Gay. I was in the Navy. I was in the Navy though. So you did. Okay. Got it. Literature Devil says, if men cry in public, it better be tears of blood. What happened to this? Have you ever seen Iron Monkey? The movie with Donnie Yen and Chow Yun-Fat?
Oh, I love Chow Yun-Fat, but I haven't seen Iron Monkey.
Iron Monkey is great. Fantastic kung fu flick. It's got the right blend of comedy and action. But Donnie Yen's kid starts crying and he smacks him and he says, a strong man sheds blood before he sheds tears.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. Nailed it. Wolfgang Deo says hashtag exposed on that Navy bit. Let's see. And then I think that's all.
Trump poetry, please, says Tony Goza for $2.
Are you familiar with Trump poetry?
Mm-mm.
Where's my Trump poetry book? Lady Rackets moved it. I have a book of Trump poems. I'll find it in just a second. Let's see. Mercenary X says, no, they're trying to ban those individual components as well. They're supposed to be putting up something in the legislature 2 weeks. This is another reason why I believe we didn't vote for the Democrats. They're ruling over us with their Dominion machines. Well, that's in reference to the the ban on high quality, whatchamacallit, high quality computer parts. Here, let me see if I can quickly find this Trump poetry book.
Thank you, J Dog, by the way. I'll look it up. Iron Monkey's on Amazon Prime. I wonder if it was directed by John Woo. I mean,
yeah, it's dude, it's great. It's a required watch, in my opinion. I think it's fantastic. Okay, I'm going to take off my headphones for 1 second. Cyberfrog, 384,842.
Amazing. We're this close to 385. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Appreciate it. I think we're going to make it. For a while, it didn't look like we were, and there were all kinds of weirdos who were just like, oh, is this going to be the very first Ethan Van Sciver Comicsgate campaign to fail? And they couldn't wait. They were sitting by just waiting for this. Now, it hasn't passed yet. We haven't succeeded yet. But I think we are going to make it. And thanks. I appreciate it. Because fuck these people who are just sitting around waiting for me to fall on my face. It's not going to happen. We succeed. We succeed gloriously at every endeavor. That's what it's all about.
Okay, here we go. Look at this.
Oh, shit.
The beautiful poetry of Donald Trump.
Oh, that looks great. Yeah.
Every one of these poems has citations for all of the quotes in it. So here we go. This is I won. Well, we've had some disasters, but this is the worst. That's I won by Donald Trump. Okay, here we go. This is I make this promise. I make this promise. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. I promise I will never be in a bicycle race. I will not rename the White House. And I promise not to talk about your massive plastic surgeries that didn't work. I promise. Thank you.
That's great. I got somebody sent me this beautiful coloring book, adult coloring book called Fuck Trump Forever. And
wow.
Yeah, and it was a coloring book, and you open it up and it's like fuck Trump, and you color it, turn the pages, and it's like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, my hero, my queen, turn more pages. And it's just like fuck Trump, and then finally it gets to resist Trump a million times. That you get to color each letter, and then it says my resistance is fading, big picture of AOC's face, and then you turn a page and it's Donald Trump holding a rose out like this, and the next page has him kissing AOC, massive embrace, and then the final page is him fucking AOC and turning off the light, and it says fuck Trump forever. So it's actually pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, that's horrifying and wonderful at the same time.
You will fuck Trump forever, AOC. Sorry. That's the message of the coloring book.
That's what she wants, though.
I think, yeah, I do feel that way. I think so.
Have you seen those like the Reddit posts and stuff where the Antifa chicks are like, God, I just want a conservative man to just ravage me. I don't know why I'm having dreams about it. Have you seen those?
No.
Oh, they're phenomenal. They're like, I know they're just awful misogynists, but for some reason their big muscly bodies and the way that they would treat me like dirt just is so hot.
Of course. Yes, of course. Of course that's true. Women need that. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like your loins are thirsting for Trump. It's terrible. Okay, so we have Cyberfrog 384,842. Thank you guys for backing. That did. If you haven't, give it a consideration. If nothing else, buy yourself a Heather doll, a Heather toy, not a doll. You should team up with Dollhouse Phil. That should be the next step to get a Heather real doll.
I want to get a Cecil real doll.
He would do
that's-
it.
Yeah, I know he would. He would do it. So I want to get Cecil real dolls made. Send out to everybody.
Would it have a vagina?
No, it would have a very small baby dick with this is how he describes himself, with gallstones and big man boobies, hairy man boobies. But
Perfect.
I think people would like that. Be a pleasure doll.
That's that ruined my evening. Thank you. TNE Bass Clef 626 says, EVS, what's up with the bootleg Dale Keown t-shirts on eBay?
Yeah, I know. Well, I have SJWs that want to fuck with me left and right. And that's just the way it is. So I made these. First of all, I paid Dale Keown. I got the artwork for Salamandroid and Cyberfrog. These are the original, the real deal shirts. We've got the all caps comics logo. It says Salamandroid on the back. I don't know who's doing it. I guess I'm supposed to react to it negatively. But there are people who are printing really cheap bootleg versions of my t-shirts on eBay and selling them for like $5. You know what I mean? And fuck these people. I say, please report them. Definitely do not buy them. They're shit. My t-shirts are top quality, made in the USA. But yeah, report them to eBay, and it is what it is. This is going to go on the rest of my life. I kind of understand that. So
Wolfgang Deo says, built a wall, built a wall, built a wall, was a gorgeous wall, hugest wall. No one can cross it. Nobody. Nobody can cross. It's miles wide. Terrific. Silky Johnson says, Nick, since Lady Rackets has got a one-up on you by moving your book of the amazing poetry of Donnie, it'd be next level if in the middle of the stream she runs in and hits you with a stone cold stunner and she has a Jim Ross clip. Good God Almighty. Yeah, she's asleep by the time I do these shows. All right, man. Well, that's it. That's it for the chat. Thank you all to the chat for joining us. Again, make sure you check out the Cyberfrog action figures. I'm putting them in the description right now. And this, I've been leaving. Hold on. Let me type this while I can't. I'm too much inebriated to talk and type at the same time. See, I've been leaving the streams up on the channel for now as a test, and I'm still uploading them to the archive channel. I think I'm a couple streams behind, but they will still all get up to the archive channel as well. So I'm leaving this one up on here. The link is in the description. Go buy some Cyberfrog toys. Look, guys, Christmas is not that far away. Birthdays are never that far away. You have kids in your life. You have adults in your life who would like this stuff. Yeah, I know you do. Buy them one. Grab one. Support independent creators. Support independent comics. And support independent toys. Anything else you want to say before we go, buddy?
No, I just want to thank you as usual. I really appreciate your friendship, and thank you for accommodating me with this stream. The reason why Nick's doing a Sunday stream is because I've got 2 days left on this campaign, and Nick promised that he'd help support the toys, and that's what kind of a guy Nick Rekieta is. So he took his night off to help me promote the toys and to talk bullshit about He-Man. And for that, as usual, I'm in your debt. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna collect. I'm gonna collect, and you're gonna pay for it. No, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. If you want to hang out for just a second, so we can say goodbye in private to the chat. Thank you all. I still haven't figured out how to play the fucking outro song on Streamlabs. So he drinks a fair.